Jerry West going against Oscar Robertson. Willis Reed and Alvin Hayes, and in the front court, Elgin Baylor being guarded by John Havlicek.
The West in the red uniforms control it. That's Connie Hawkins trying to get a pass off to Hayes. Hayes' shot is rebounded by Oscar Robertson of Cincinnati. Quickly to the Knicks, Walt Frazier, number 10. There's Robertson, number 14, Cunningham. Of the Philadelphia 76ers is Elgin Baylor. Rebounds. Number 44 is Jerry West, picked up by number 10, Walt Frazier. In red, the West. This is Lou Hudson. Oscar Robertson gets his second rebound, quickly gives to Havlicek of the Celtics. Billy Cunningham on the rebound. And the East takes a 2-0 lead in the fast break for the West. Hawkins couldn't control it, and it's taken by Walt Frazier of New York. The East in the white uniforms. Cunningham tries to feed Havlicek under, and Jerry West gets a stray ball. 2-0 is the score here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. In the corner, Elgin Baylor. No. The rebound by Hayes outside to Hudson. And both teams hot. They'll settle down in a moment. Again, Oscar Robertson picked up by Atlanta's Lou Hudson. Keeping the ball outside. Now into Havlicek. Guarded by Hawkins. A come-around layup missed, and Baylor rebounds and passes off to his Laker teammate, Jerry West. East leading 2-0. And now we have a tie score, and
in the backcourt for the East, we have Walt Frazier and Oscar Robertson, and their strategy is going to be to slow it down, work for the open shot. They're a good passing club. On the other hand, the West wants to run because they are at a disadvantage from the rebounding standpoint. They want to get that ball down the floor before the East can set up.
Deflected pass, controlled by Hayes. Hayes to Baylor. Baylor to Jerry West, number 44. Guarded by Frazier. Now Frazier picks up Lou Hudson. This is Connie Hawkins of Phoenix. Hawkins and Hayes trying to rebound, but Willis Reed of the Knickerbockers. We have a jump ball in the West foul circle. Tie score with 9:59 remaining in this first 12-minute quarter. Well, it's going to be on the left. 43, that is Hawkins, and 19, Willis Reed. Taken by Oscar Robertson. John Havlicek, a lead pass to Reed. And the East leads 4-2. The backcourt men for the West in the red uniforms. West 44, Hudson 23. West controlling it. And despite the menacing guarding of Frazier, West now has 4 points. High score at 4-all. Robertson, last year's most valuable player. This is Frazier.
And you see the West is not allowing Jerry West to guard Oscar Robertson. Walt Frazier guarding Jerry West and vice versa, while Oscar Robertson taking Lou Hudson.
That was Hayes giving to Hudson. And there's an offensive foul, as you probably saw, Hudson charging in. So it's Robertson, 14, into 10. Frazier to 17, Havlicek. Willis Reed. On fine move, very agile with a fake and then the result.
As you can see, there's not a lot of team play. It's a lot of individual play, picks and rolls, because these players convened yesterday, and it's very difficult in the span of a day to get a lot of organized play. So you revert back to the individual one-on-one, picks and screens, pick and rolls, and a lot of real good individual play on the part of these ball players, Chris.
The East is leading 8-4. The West with the ball. Elvin Hayes of San Diego. Hawkins of the Phoenix Suns. Jack Madden spots a foul. So going to the line now on a Cunningham foul will be Connie Hawkins of the West. 23.4 average, 6'8", and he's a tremendous ball handler, as you'll undoubtedly see tonight.
One statistic we ought to mention at the top is Elgin Baylor and Oscar Robertson stand at 209 points in all-star competition. They both need 16 points to surpass Bob Pettit's record of 224.
And now looking at Frazier of the East. Hayes on a fine rebound for the West. It's his second of the ball game. Jerry West of the Los Angeles Lakers. And the forward, Connie Hawkins, commits his first foul, an offensive foul, so the offended team will inbound it.
For the first 5 or 8 minutes, all we see is one team feeling out the other team, giving it to one player or another, see who can have an advantage over the player that's guarding him. They're feeling one another out, Chris.
A lot of picking, screening, and now holding is called against Connie Hawkins. Back-to-back fouls on the Phoenix Sun star as Willis Reed goes to the line. Reed of the Knickerbockers. Incidentally, following medical examination yesterday, determined that he does not have an ulcer. He has a spasm near his left rib cage. And boy, that's good news for not only Willis, but his followers.
Willis was a very happy man when he came to Philadelphia.
Willis Reed with 5 of the 9 East points. The East leading 9-6. Jerry West, one of the 2 strong guards on the Western team. Baylor, 22. Hawkins, 42 to Hayes, 11. And under the bucket. Foul. Reed defensively for the East. Let's watch it again.
Here's that play. There you see Elvin Hayes faking Willis Reed up, and he's got from behind there as he goes up for the basket.
And that is Reed's first foul. Hayes to the Rockets, and San Diego's Jerry West tries to steal it away from Frazier. Richie Powers, the referee, helps put it in play. Billy Cunningham of Philadelphia, Havlicek of Boston. And Hawkins goes up for the rebound, and let's see, he was he fouled by Cunningham? I guess not. There's Red Holtzman. His first year as an all-star coach at the helm of the Knickerbockers since December of '67. And Mr. West, a hot hand.
And you see Willis Reed staying inside. Richie Guerin, I talked to him before the game, and if they can't get Willis Reed out from inside, he plans to put Elvin Hayes at forward to try and open up the middle. So let's see how that strategy develops.
Willis Reed of the East. Hayes rebounding for the West, his third. West quickly to Baylor. And Willis Reed to Billy Cunningham. Cross court to Robertson. Frazier. And the quick reflexes of Robertson saving. The Big O. 11-8 now. The East All-Stars leading with 6 minutes and 42 seconds. This is Richie Guerin watching his West team with the ball now. Jerry West. Connie Hawkins. Elgin Baylor rebounding. Double team. Jump ball.
There we saw that strategy. Connie Hawkins, after Elvin Hayes pulled outside, opened it up inside for Connie Hawkins to work one-on-one against Billy Cunningham. Billy tied him up.
And the East controls it. Hudson's guarding Robertson. Deflects the ball. Frazier saves it. Under to his teammate Reed. Hayes defensively. Comeback shot by Reed. Reed now with 7 points. The East 13. The West 8. Jerry West to his backcourt mate, Hudson, Lou Hudson of Atlanta. Elgin Baylor. 11th time an All-Star. West his 10th time. And John Havlicek quickly admits that he fouled on the play.
There's Jerry West going up on a classic jump shot. For any youngster looking in, Chris, there's a perfect way to shoot a jump shot, right up in the air.
There's a timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia with the score. The East All-Stars 13, the West 8. You're looking at the East All-Stars on a live color telecast from Philadelphia. Red Holtzman, the coach, he of the New York Knickerbockers, talking to his team, who has a 5-point lead, 13-8. And if you just joined us, this is the 20th annual All-Star game. 12 of the great players from each the East and Western division. And here's one of them, Jerry West, number 44.
Thus far in the ballgame, Willis Reed has had his own way inside underneath the basket. And when Atlanta has played New York this year, Bill Bridges has done a great job on Willis Reed. So I'm sure Richie Guerin has that in the back of his mind, and we might see Bill Bridges come in to guard Willis Reed.
Here's Jerry West, 3 for 3 from the field. Pretty solid at that foul line, too. Number 1 scorer in the NBA, 31 average. And number 6 in assists, 7.5 per game. In the lineup now for the West, we have number 24, Jeff Mullins. And he now has to switch off and guard Reed. Does a good job at blocking out. And Jack Madden says the ball belongs to the East. The Eastern All-Stars in white, if you just joined us. Red trim. Havlicek, Willis Reed, guarded by Baylor. 15-9.
I might say, Chris, with the exception of Reed, the shooting has been rather cold. And this is a big game for these players, and it takes about 5 to 8 minutes to get loose, to feel each other out, and I'm sure the balls will start to drop pretty soon.
Hawkins and Reed and Hayes going for the rebound, and Havlicek comes up with it, but Jeff Mullins steals it away. Jeff Mullins of San Francisco, former Duke player. Robertson from Cincinnati passes into Boston's Havlicek. Cross court to North Carolina's Billy Cunningham. Cunningham now with 4 points. 17-9. The East leading the West with the ball.
Billy Cunningham is calling for that ball. He wants to work one-on-one against Connie Hawkins.
Shot by Hayes, battled for. Hayes gets it. Jerry West to Hawkins. And Willis Reed fouls Connie Hawkins on the play, and that's the second foul on number 19, Willis Reed.
Here's a pass from Jerry West. Connie Hawkins with the ball. Look at the way he palms that ball. And it goes up in the air. You decide for yourself if that's a foul. Connie Hawkins on the line.
2 substitutions. Chet Walker has replaced Elgin Baylor in the West lineup. And Hal Greer, the veteran, has come in replacing Walt Frazier for the East. Connie Hawkins at the line. (17-11). The East leading. Here's Greer, number 15. Quickly to Havlicek. To Cunningham. The outside weave goes back to Greer. Havlicek. Cunningham. Hawkins to Jeff Mullins, number 24. Hayes, 11. Traveling called. Good try by Hayes.
You notice on the play before, Jerry West had no chance to get that rebound, but he kept that ball alive by just tick to Billy Cunningham. A fine play by Jerry West.
Chet Walker commits the foul as we have Bob Rule coming into the ball game at 6'9", 235 pounds, giving Elvin Hayes a rest. Product of Colorado State. And here is John Havlicek, collegian at Ohio State. Number 5 scorer in the NBA. It's his first from the foul line and his first point. 18-11. This is Rule, who has replaced Hayes. Back outside to Jeff Mullins. Guarded by Robertson. Now Havlicek and Robertson switch. Chet Walker, 25. Mullins over a Rule screen. And the rebound comes off. Al Greer quickly to Havlicek. To Robertson. And Oscar. Great hook shot. Now with 4 points.
The West just cannot penetrate. They're taking bad shots. They can't get Willis Reed out from inside, so they haven't been able to get inside for the easy shots.
9-point lead, largest of the ball game. This is Jerry West. Connie Hawkins. West. Hawkins. Whoops. Richie Powers says there is a foul. And it's called on Greer, his first. And now from the Baltimore Bullets, in comes number 25, Gus Johnson, giving John Havlicek a rest for the East. 22-11. The East is in the lead, and at the foul line again, he draws fouls, Connie Hawkins.
He has great ball control. With Gus Johnson and Willis Reed in that front line, that's about as muscular a front line as you'll find in the NBA. And it makes things even rougher for the West to get that ball off the boards.
6 for 6 from the foul line. Here's Hal Greer now in his 10th All-Star game. Most valuable player at the Garden in New York in 1968. This classic. Oscar Robertson. Bob Rule guarding Oscar at the moment. Willis Reed. triple team. Well, he is fluid motion. Just tremendous. He has 11 points, 11 of the 22 for the East. And Greer steals and lead bounce pass to Robertson. 24-13. Chet Walker.
That's Robertson's 6th point, and as we mentioned, he needs 16 to break Bob Pettit's all-time record of 224.
Okay, Jack, and with timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the East leads the West 24-13.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Unusual statistic for the West, trailing here with 2:41 to go in the first quarter, 24-13. Jerry West has the only 3 field goals scored by the West after 9 minutes and 19 seconds of play.
And the reason why is West is a great outside shooter, and he can hit from the outside, and the West has not been able to get inside.
And there he is, 7'2" Lou Alcindor, the only rookie of the 24. He was called for goaltending right off as Dave DeBusschere comes into the East lineup. He's the New York Knickerbockers. Now, Chet Walker. Walker to Jerry West. Gets around Greer. Jeff Mullins. Well, there's a field goal. Other than West's 3, Jeff Mullins gets the only other. And Jimmy Walker of Providence College is in for the East All-Stars. Jimmy, number 24, in the white uniform of the Detroit Pistons. So the East lineup now has Alcindor 33, Hal Greer 15. That's Walker at the line. 25, Gus Johnson, and 22, Dave DeBusschere for the West. It's Chet Walker and Jerry West, Jeff Mullins, Bob Rule, and Joe Caldwell of Atlanta, who just comes in and scores. Makes it look simple. Joe Caldwell of Arizona State, 19-point average on the season, here at the halfway point. And here's Lou Alcindor. And that was jumping Gus Johnson that tried to stuff it through. Jerry West, 25-19. Chet Walker. The West slowly but surely, Jack, closing the gap.
But as we said, now with Lou Alcindor in place of Willis Reed, it still presents a great problem as far as rebounding is concerned. And the West have to combat the rebounding of the East, and I expect Richie Guerin will do something very shortly to try and even up that statistic.
Well, let's see. The only starter on the floor is Jerry West for the West of the starting 10. Because Jimmy Walker, Gus Johnson, Hal Greer, Lou Alcindor, and Dave DeBusschere are playing for the West. DeBusschere to Greer. Looking for Alcindor, of course. Rule guarding him. And Rule hanging tough. Alcindor saving at the end line. Back outside to Walker. Back to Alcindor. Whoops. Walker. Dave DeBusschere rebounding Hal Greer's shot. It's 27-21 with 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Sellout crowd, the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Outside a snowstorm. Chet Walker, now of the Chicago Bulls, formerly 76er. Former teammate Hal Greer. (29 to 21). The first field goal for Greer. Jeff Mullins down in the corner to Joe Caldwell. Alcindor makes rebounding look easy. Greer. Walker. DeBusschere. Greer. Basket count. And Greer's foul. Jeff Mullins apparently committed the foul. Let's watch it again.
There's a shot of Hal Greer going across the middle. He fakes up, goes up, and he's fouled at the top of his jump. You know, Chris, it's an advantage for players like Greer and Cunningham to be playing on their home court. The only 2 players that can boast that advantage, but it is an advantage to know the rims and to know the floor.
Joe Caldwell trying to put one in for the West, and Gus Johnson of Baltimore rebounds to Walker. Look at the fast break to Greer. Knocked out of bounds by either Mullins or Wilkins. Lynn Wilkins has come into the lineup for the West All-Stars. He, like Jimmy Walker of the East, graduate of Providence College. Lynn Wilkins, number 1 in assists. Here's Greer. Guarded by Wilkins.
That's what I said about knowing the rims. Hal Greer with a home court crowd.
And now he has 7 points as Bob Rule gets 2 cracks at the rim. Alcindor in the rebound to Gus Johnson of Idaho. Well, that's the end of the first quarter. We'll return for the second period in just 1 moment. The score, the East 36, the West 21. Jack Madden, the official, will toss it up.
And Chris, very quickly we have seen how much the West misses Nate Thurmond, the leading rebounder in the NBA. He can combat Willis Reed and Lou Alcindor inside, which Elvin Hayes and Bob Rule have been unable to do thus far.
Gus Johnson to Jimmy Walker. An offensive foul. Incidentally, in that first quarter, the East was shooting 52%, the West 29. 36-21. You just joined us. Chet Walker, 25, trying to feed Rule, 45, who's guarded by Lou Alcindor. Now Rule at the end line. 18 seconds in which to shoot. Len Wilkins. And the player coach, Jack. Pretty good eye. 36-23. Comes to Bob Rule. Good position for the rebound, but Gus Johnson and Joe Caldwell. Johnson wins out. Oh! Al Greer. Dave DeBuscher. Alcindor. How do you defend that shot, Jack?
Gus Johnson, there we saw just sheer strength. I shuddered every time I had to go up against Gus Johnson. He's about the strongest man, strongest forward in the NBA.
Jimmy Walker. There's Johnson. Stolen away by quick-handed Jeff Mullins to Lynn Wilkins. Wilkins to Caldwell. Over Alcindor. No basket. Foul.
He used his left hand. Joe Caldwell used his left hand to keep Alcindor off. Let's see that again in slow motion. You see for yourself. Up at the top of your screen. You really can't see it. The referee ruled that Joe Caldwell fended off Lou Alcindor with his left arm.
38-23. Gus Johnson's shot. Rebounded by Caldwell. Rule misses. Off comes to Busher to Greer. Lead pass to Johnson. Jeff Mullins of the West. The West trailing. Chet Walker. Mullins. Dick Van Arsdale waiting to come into the ball game. Whoops, Caldwell stealing. Chet Walker, one of his favorite spots, Walker. With about 10 minutes remaining in the first half, 38-25, East leading. Alcindor of the East. Basket counts, foul called. Now we have Elvin Hayes, 11, and Dick Van Arsdale, one of the twin brothers, Van Arsdale twins, coming into the lineup. We'll be talking to Tom and Dick Van Arsdale, the first time that two brothers have ever played in an NBA All-Star game.
We're seeing the move that Richie Guerin talked to me about before the game. Elvin Hayes in there now. Hopefully we'll try and go out to the corner and bring Lou Alcindor out.
Largest lead by the East, 16 points. That's Dick Van Arsdale, number 5. Now Caldwell. Alcindor coming outside. Look at the length of those arms. Wilkins to Hayes. Al Greer at midcourt to Walker, then to the Busher. Van Arsdale defensively as Hayes rebounds. Wilkins. Hayes. To Busher. Al Greer. All 10 players. Substitutes on the floor. Gus Johnson. 43-25. 18 points as Bill Bridges will come in for the West in a moment. Dick Van Arsdale. Wilkins.
The West a little disorganized. They just can't get anything going. They can't get any organization going because they have not been able to get their offense started, not being able to get the rebounds.
Gus Johnson. Walker. Alcindor, the ball kicked out of bounds. We look at Richie Guerin, the West coach. Bridges comes into the lineup, number 32, giving Chet Walker a rest. Now Elgin Baylor, one of the starters, comes back on the court, replacing Caldwell. And Flynn Robinson of Milwaukee replaces Jimmy Walker for the East.
Even in an all-star game like this, Chris, it's interesting to see the influence that an Alcindor and a Reed bring to a ball game. To have a big man inside stabilizes a ball club and gives it a great deal of confidence.
Gus Johnson, the hottest man right now, 6 points. Len Wilkins driving on Alcindor. Underhand pass to Hayes, and Hayes is fouled by Johnson. 45-27 if you're just joining us. We have 8 minutes and 29 seconds remaining in the first half. And now, as we look at Hayes, in the lineup is Tom Van Arsdale. So the twins, opposing each other, are on the court, Jack.
And with Elvin Hayes at the line, it's reminiscent of the great battles that Houston and UCLA had when Elvin Hayes and Lou Alcindor were in college.
There's Tom Van Arsdale, number 5 in white. Gus Johnson, 25. Alcindor on the rebound, losing it to Baylor. Len Wilkins. Long pass, a beauty. And Hayes, 3-time All-America. Stuffs it. Second year as a professional. Made the team last year as a rookie. Greer, Robinson, 21. Tom Van Arsdale, 5 in white. His brother was trying to rebound, 5 in the red uniform. There he is, stealing it. Couldn't save it. Len Robinson, Greer, Tom Van Arsdale, and Hayes blocks it. Greer. 47-31. Len Wilkins. Long to Hayes all alone. 47-33.
Keeping everyone up to date, Elgin Baylor now back in the lineup. He has yet to score, and he and Robertson, who has 6 points, need 16 to break the record set by Pettit at 224.
There's Baylor, number 22, as Hayes, guarding Alcindor, fouls, as Billy Cunningham, one of the starters, comes back, and Gus Johnson goes to the East bench. This is Alcindor at the line. He has 5 points, 3 rebounds. Sixth in rebounds in the league, number 3 in scoring. .724 to go in the first half. Wilkins. Alcindor goaltending, 2 points. Wilkins now with 6.
Let's take a look at that. There's that shot. You cannot touch the shot on the way down. Goaltender couldn't see the ball at the top of the screen.
Tom Van Arsdale, Billy Cunningham. And we have a foul, offensive foul on Van Arsdale. And at the moment, we have a timeout here in the second quarter at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The score, the East All-Stars 48, the West 35.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Red Holtzman, coach of the New York Knickerbockers, a team that set an NBA record, winning its first 18 games, now coaching the East. And at the moment, the East leads 48-35. 7 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Spectrum, built in '67, completed at a cost of $12 million.
Once again, you see very little team offense and defense. It's individual play, great stars playing against one another head-to-head. It's very difficult to develop an offense or a defense in a period of 2 days.
21, Flynn Robinson of the Milwaukee Bucks. Fouls Len Wilkins on the play. Wilkins, a young man, high school, boys high in New York. Failed to make the team. He was picked up at Providence College because of CYO basketball. As Hal Greer gets a round of applause. Wilkins is 3 for 3 from the field, and accurate at the line as Frazier replaces Hal Greer, number 10 in white. Flynn Robinson and Frazier are the backcourt men. The corners, Cunningham and Tom Van Arsdale, and at center, that man.
The East, in an effort to get the ball to Alcindor, are playing actually on the baselines. They're clearing out, opening it wide up for Alcindor to work one-on-one inside.
So the East has reached the half century in scoring, now 52 points with 6:32 left in the first half. Elgin Baylor for the West. Picked up by Tom Van Arsdale. Now Alcindor. Under to Bill Bridges of Atlanta. And the foul is called on, looks like Lou Alcindor. That's his second.
There's Alcindor inside. Let's see if he did foul him. There's the shot, and Alcindor going up. Hard to see if there was a foul, but the referee ruled Bridges was fouled on the shot.
Bill Bridges of the Atlanta Hawks. 52-37, the East leading. Glenn Robinson. Billy Cunningham. Robinson, Cunningham. And they tried to hit the open man. They did, but Hayes defensively. Bridges for the West. Back out to Wilkins. Well, that's one way. Go under the armpits of Alcindor. Especially a shorter man like Len Wilkins at 6'3", Alcindor 7'2". Alcindor now 3 personal fouls.
Elvin Hayes battling very difficult job. He's trying to meet Alcindor head-on-head inside and has been very unsuccessful. I expect Hayes would be more successful to take him outside. Willis Reed now coming in for Lou Alcindor.
Willis Reed of the New York Knickerbockers. Number 19. Here we're looking at Wilkins. Wilkins with 8 points. Reed rebounding, giving to his Knickerbocker teammate, Frazier. Picked up by Dick Van Arsdale. And this is Tom Van Arsdale. Here's Dick Van Arsdale, the 5 in red, who's looking for his first points. And Willis Reed. Goaltending. So the Van Arsdale twins each have a field goal. Glenn Robinson into Frazier. Some dribbling. Glenn Robinson of Milwaukee outside. Stealing the ball, intended for Baylor. Willis Reed outside into the corner, Cunningham. Frazier. Robinson. What a shooter. Jack, I think you commented today that that's truly one of the great shooters in the NBA now.
He surely is. His arc is real high, and he throws up a very soft shot. A lot of the players in the league regard him as an excellent shooter.
Little contact in the lane. Here comes Frazier of Southern Illinois. The big, tall Elvin Hayes coming up with his 8th rebound. Dick Van Arsdale to Elgin Baylor. Lenny Wilkins. Bridges. Double team. And under the basket, Willis Reed covering. Jerry West now, number 44. Wilkins going to the West bench. And John Havlicek comes back in for the East. Well, we have a timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. The East is leading the West 58-40.
The story in this game so far, Chris, the West has just not been able to get Alcindor and Reed out from under the basket. Elvin Hayes, who is a pretty good outside shooter, has not been going outside. He's been staying inside trying to battle them, and he's been very unsuccessful. So Reed and Alcindor not allowing the West to drive in for the easy shots, making them take the poorer percentage shot. The East has been very successful.
Bridges with 1 point. 3 to neck 2. Bill Bridges of the Atlanta Hawks. Dick Van Arsdale rebounding. Hayes faking. Beautiful. Basket counts. Foul. Hayes. Elvin Hayes of San Diego to the line. Cunningham now has 3 fouls. Willis Reed, Frazier. For the West, it's Frazier. Or the East, rather. Here's Nick teammate Willis Reed, but Van Arsdale knocks it away. They control it and hit the open man. Cunningham to Havlicek. Havlicek with 3 points. Jerry West guarded by Walt Frazier. Nice little battle going on there. Dick Van Arsdale back to West. Bridges outside to Baylor.
That's Elgin's first field goal in the first half. So Baylor with 2 points.
Ball control of Jerry West to Bill Bridges. Baylor.
Step up, step up. Hey!
Bill Bridges. And most of the country this Sunday will see Bill Bridges and his Atlanta Hawks hosting the Milwaukee Bucks on our NBA Game of the Week. In New York and in New England, it'll be Boston, New York Knickerbockers. West's second foul, and Oscar Robertson reports in for the East, replacing Glenn Robinson. Cunningham at the line. 6 points thus far. 60-47, the East in the lead. Jack Twyman will be talking to Will Chamberlain. I'll be visiting with Bob Cousy, Red Auerbach, Van Arsdale twins, and Jack, you will have a pair of great players on.
I'll come back with Jerry West and Oscar Robertson.
Okay. Speaking of Jerry West, there he is. Frazier makes his presence felt. The Lakers, Baylor. Hayes. 3 minutes and 4 seconds remaining in the first half. 62-49. Frazier leads Reed. Rebound comes off to Baylor. In these All-Star games, the Most Valuable Player award is given following the contest. So keep your eyes on all the individuals. That was Dick Van Arsdale, who shot his rebounded by Cunningham. Reed was too far under. Bridges lead pass to Hayes. Oh, he is graceful, Jack. Elvin Hayes. 13 points and 9 rebounds.
He can go outside, inside. He's a great shooter and a great pro.
Off the hand of Jerry West. East will retain possession as Gus Johnson, 25 of Baltimore, comes in the lineup. Replacing Cunningham. Robertson to Frazier. Reed. Willis Reed of the Knickerbockers.
You know, we've mentioned matchups. If anybody looking in wants to learn how to play defense, watch Walt Frazier guard Jerry West. Frazier voted the best defensive player in the NBA last year, guarding West one-on-one. A great matchup.
The two centers, Hayes and Reed, each with 13 points. West will inbound the ball. For the East, we have Havlicek, 17, Johnson 25, Reed 19, Frazier 10, and Robertson 14. 64-51. The West with the ball, and they trail. Hayes. Baylor. Defensively, Havlicek and Johnson. This is Havlicek, number 17. Reed. 66-51. 15 points for Willis Reed. Now Dick Van Arsdale. Baylor. Gus Johnson. Frazier. Oh, what hands to Reed. Jerry West on the rebound, and backcourt two-shot foul on John Havlicek.
Here's a replay of that rebound. There you see West going up and Havlicek coming in right there.
Jerry West at the foul line, 7 points thus far in the ball game. West in his 10th All-Star game. In as many years as a professional. Can't do any better than that.
Jerry West and Elgin Baylor, without Wilt Chamberlain, have kept the Los Angeles Lakers within striking distance of Atlanta. Currently, Los Angeles only 5.5 behind Atlanta in the Western Division race.
Walt Frazier. And Jerry West not only hit the ball, but the arm of the shooter. Foul on West. His third. Frazier, number 10 at the foul line. West 44, of course. Frazier with 2 points. Southern Illinois product. Voted number 1 as a defensive team was chosen after last season in the NBA.
Lenny Wilkins, number 1 in assists. Walt Frazier, number 2 in assists in the NBA.
Lenny Wilkins resting on the West bench. Frazier commits the foul, and Jerry West is back at the line. Jerry West, the number 1 scorer, 31.2 average. Number 6 in assists. Frazier. (67-55). About 1:05 to go. That's Dick Van Arsdale guarding Robertson. 69-55. Robertson now with 8 points for the East. Fine shot by Bill Bridges of Atlanta. 69-57. Trailing by 12. Frazier of the East. Havlicek. Robertson. Reed. Hayes. And Bridges defensively, but Robertson. 71-57. Jerry West.
And Robertson now within striking distance with 10 points. He only needs 16 to get Pettit's record.
That was Van Arsdale shooting over Oscar. Reed rebounds, stolen by Baylor. A lot of traffic underneath, and Alvin Hayes. And Hayes back again at the foul line at 6'9½". Number 4 scorer, number 2 in rebounds. Awesome defensive player.
This is the penalty shot.
Alvin Hayes, number 4 scoring in the league. 26.6. 71-59. Here he is. Bridges. And time has expired. Here in the first half of the NBA All-Star Game, Red Holtzman and his East team in the lead, as you see. So we have the end of the second quarter, reminding you that we'll return with more of the East-West All-Star Professional Basketball Game after this word from your local station.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Back again at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. It's 71-59. The East All-Stars in the lead, and for the West, this is the scoring of the first half. Hayes with 15, followed by West with 11, and so on down the line. And Elgin Baylor with only 2 for the East All-Stars. The New York Knickerbockers, Willis Reed with 15. Cincinnati's Robertson with 10. Philadelphia's Greer with 9. Alcindor of Milwaukee 8, along with Cunningham of Philadelphia 8. It's been quite a first half. The East shooting 49%, the West 38, as we look at the West coach, Richie Guerin, who gives Len Wilkins, player coach, a tap on the head in a friendly fashion. And they play hard once they're on the court, but they do have a good time, and they are on friendly terms in this particular game, Jack. But when they resume the second half of the NBA season, look out.
They sure do. There's the shooting percentage, Chris, from the foul line, 90% for the East, 67% for the West. And I was interested in Robertson's remark, not knowing that he only needed 6 to be the all-time all-star scorer. Let's see what the third quarter brings for the East and Oscar in that backcourt.
And each year, the attendance in the NBA increases, and as we look at Robertson, there are over 15,000 watching here, a sellout crowd. And a man who received a lifetime pass, only the 3rd in the history of the league, a gold pass, was the governor of Pennsylvania, Raymond Schaefer, a product of Allegheny College, where he played a lot of athletics, a 9-letter man. It was presented by Irv Kozloff, the president of the Philadelphia 76ers, in behalf of Walter Kennedy, the commissioner. Here's Willis Reed of the Knickerbockers. And the high scorer in this game gets another field goal. Lynn Wilkins, as we'll set the West lineup for you. Lynn treating himself to a beauty through the lane. Jeff Mullins, Bob Rule, Connie Hawkins, Joe Caldwell, and Wilkins are playing for the West, while for the East in white, Cunningham just gave the ball to Robertson, who goes around a Reed pick and passes back to Willis. Havlicek is also in the East lineup as Connie Hawkins of the popular Phoenix Suns puts one through.
And reminding again that at the end of this ball game, the most valuable player will be chosen, and I think now is the time to start picking your most valuable player and see if we agree. Willis Reed certainly will have to receive some consideration for his play.
This is Billy Cunningham, double team. Rebound to Hawkins. Hawkins, a lead pass to Jeff Mullins. The West needs more field goals. They've cut the lead to 10 after trailing by 18, and it's traveling in their anxiety. All right, now Walt Frazier, the Knickerbockers, with Robertson in the backcourt. In the corners, it's Havlicek and Cunningham. Reed at the pivot. Cunningham, bullet pass. Couldn't control it. Wilkins gets around Havlicek. Rule on the rebound. And now they trail by only 8. 10.5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. The East with the ball. Oscar Robertson, Cunningham. Look at him jump. Joe Caldwell with his 4th rebound for the West. Bob Rule. Havlicek. Frazier. 2-on-1. Robertson. Bob Rule controls the board for the West to Caldwell. 2-on-1.
And Richie Guerin's gamble is working with the shorter lineup, and Joe Caldwell. A lot more speed in that lineup, and they have not been hurt off the board, and they're getting the rebound and getting down there.
19 points and 9 rebounds for Willis Reed. Now we have Jeff Mullins, number 24 of San Francisco, playing for the West. Joe Caldwell, number 27, the Atlanta Hawks. Oscar Robertson. Walt Frazier. And a steal by Caldwell. But Reed gets it. Havlicek. Off to Cunningham. And Bob Rule fouls Cunningham underneath. 2 fouls on Bob Rule. Bob Rule, who is on the West squad as a result of a knee operation, to number 1 rebounder in the league, a super guy who's in the hospital in San Francisco, Nate Thurman.
And Rule, not expected to be here, as you mentioned, had a tonsillectomy scheduled but canceled it after Thurman's injury just to play in this game.
Connie Hawkins practically hands it in to Lynn Wilkins. 78-69 with 9 minutes remaining, third quarter. Frazier guarding Wilkins. There's Hawkins, now Caldwell. Oh, defensively, Willis Reed. Frazier and Robertson and Reed. Gives you an idea of Reed's speed. He defended on the opposite board and came right down in the play. 21 points for Reed. Jeff Mullins. And that's Reed defending. Can't defense a shot like that. 80-71. East in the lead. Lead pass to Havlicek. Caldwell guarding him. A switch. Rule goes to Havlicek, and Mullins steals the ball. A bullet to Hawkins. Rule. Pressure defense by Cunningham, and last touched by the West in the red uniforms. Walt Frazier to Robertson. Havlicek.
Red ball, red.
John Havlicek, who in 4 previous All-Star games had 18 points, 14, 26, and 14, having a little bit of an off night. Has only 3. And Lynn Wilkins with 12 points for the West, igniting their attack here in the third quarter. 80-73. Cunningham. .13 points for the Philadelphia 76ers, Billy Cunningham. Jeff Mullins.
The West hit only 39% in that first half, and as you can see, the shots that they were missing in the first half from the outside are now dropping, and the East is going to have to come out and guard those shots.
Frazier making that one. Jeff Mullins again, number 24. Joe Caldwell knocked away by Robertson and controlled by Oscar. No basket. Offensive foul. I guess Oscar used that elbow.
There's Robertson coming across the middle with the left arm. There you see Caldwell going up.
And in the lineup for the East, in the backcourt replacing Frazier, we have Hal Greer, number 15. So it's the guards, Greer and Robertson, bringing the ball across the divisional line. Cunningham and Havlicek in the corners. Reed in the pivot. Robertson.
As he goes up.
Jeff Mullins fouls Robertson. That's Jeff's second. 6:41 to go, third quarter. 84-75. And with 6:41 remaining in the third quarter here at the Spectrum, the score: the East 84, the West 75. Oscar Robertson of the line, the Big O, with 10 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 rebounds tonight. Willis Reed and Billy Cunningham are along the lane. Connie Hawkins and Bob Ruler there for the opposition. This is Hawkins in the Mullins. Mullins and Len Wilkins, the guards. The cornermen are Hawkins and Caldwell with Rule the center. 86-75. Hawkins guarded by Cunningham. Wilkins. Bob Rule and Reed battling for it. Controlled by Robertson. Al Greer to Havlicek. And Hundo now has 5 points.
Lenny Wilkins there throwing the ball out of bounds. He's a very stern player coach. You might have read that last week he was very unhappy with his team's play and fined everyone, including himself, $100 for lackadaisical play. Lenny Wilkins, the player coach of the Seattle Supersonics.
88-55. Bob Rule guarded by Reed. Knocked away, and Reed fouls on the play. Jack, why was that last basket no good?
There's the slow motion of the last basket, and there you see the ball up, and you're not allowed to touch the ball when it's in the sphere of the rim. As you saw, Reed went up and touched the ball while it was in the sphere of the rim. That's offensive goaltending. You're not allowed to do that.
1 foul for Bob Rule, not in the act of shooting. Bob now has 5 points for the West All-Stars. Greer, long to Havlicek. Greer. Knocked away by Mullins. And Robertson, who doesn't appear to be very fast, grabbing it, but he was on the sideline, out of bounds. Now, Dick Van Arsdale replaces Jeff Mullins, youngest of the identical twins. Len Wilkins. Connie Hawkins and Wilkins. Hawkins. Oh, yes. You like that play, Jack?
There you saw a good, alert play on the part of the West team. Lenny Wilkins, Billy Cunningham sagging off of Connie Hawkins, which is dangerous to do in this league, and Connie wide open, getting the pass.
And the West gets the rebound. Joe Caldwell to Wilkins. Down in the corner, Van Arsdale. Dick Van Arsdale, who switched from forward to guard with Phoenix, while his brother made an opposite switch with Cincinnati. And now here is Havlicek. 88-80, 4:52 to go, third quarter. Reed. Robertson. Cunningham. Let's see what the call Mac Madden watching. On the deck is Bob Rule, number 45, who'll get a rest now, replaced by Elvin Hayes. Robertson commits his third foul on that last play. He goes all out, doesn't he, Jack?
I think I might have given him a little incentive at halftime. There's Robertson with the ball. He's looking for Cunningham inside. And there you see the charging foul on Oscar Robertson.
Back live, Chet Walker replacing Caldwell, gives to Hayes. Hayes around to Van Arsdale. Up and in. Now the West trails by 6. Dick Van Arsdale with 6 points. And Dave DeBuscher in the East lineup saves it, gives to his teammate Reed. Havlicek of Boston. Ooh. 90-82. Hayes. DeBuscher. That was tenacious Havlicek. Getting it out to DeBuscher. DeBuscher to Robertson. Havlicek. 3:50 to go. DeBuscher to Robertson. Havlicek. John Havlicek. And we recall 2 years ago at the Garden, in the third quarter, Hal Greer had a spurt of 18 points and wound up with the MVP.
There's Havlicek getting that pass, using his 6'5" to go over Lenny Wilkins' 6'2". It's hard to say the foul there. Lenny Wilkins was pretty far away from Havlicek, but a foul was called. Havlicek at the line.
Havlicek has 8 points in this period, total of 11. Now 12. 3:41 to go. Connie Hawkins guarded by DeBuscher, and then feeds his Phoenix Suns team, or rather, yes, his Phoenix Suns teammate Dick Van Arsdale. 95-84. DeBuscher, Robertson, and Lou Alcindor is in the lineup. Goaltending. Havlicek now with 14 points. 3:05 to go in the third quarter. Wilkins. Havlicek. Robertson. Alcindor. And Hawkins. It's 2-on-1. Oh! Well, if it had worked, it'd have been sensational. Now Jerry West comes into the lineup. Wilkins goes to the West bench. Robertson to Greer. So for the East, it's those two in the backcourt. In the corner, DeBuscher, the opposite, Havlicek. DeBuscher. And the center is Alcindor. Robertson. 99-84. Dick Van Arsdale. Chet Walker. Hayes has come out way outside, bringing Alcindor with him. Now they're in deep. Hawkins, the top of the key. Van Arsdale, Hayes. Oh, nice fake. Foul called. Hayes will go to the line. And that's the second foul on Greer. Elgin Baylor replaces Hawkins in the West lineup. There's Baylor.
And the East now back up on top by 15. It's almost as if when Alcindor came into the game, his mere presence inside made the West team aware, and they went back to shooting outside shots and had very little success in that spurt.
And with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the third quarter here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the score: the East 99, the West 84.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
Hayes with 15 points and 9 rebounds, hitting on 42% of his shots from the field. Now Hal Greer of the East. Robertson If you just joined us, it's Alcindor who gets the ball. And Greer. Baylor knocked it out of bounds. For the East, Havlicek, Greer, Alcindor, DeBusschere, and Robertson. For the West, it's Walker, Dick Van Arsdale, Hayes, Jerry West, and Elgin Baylor. That's West at the end line. Van Arsdale back to West Virginia's West. Hayes. There's Alcindor, 33. Moving the ball around. Knocked away by Robertson. Basket counts. Baylor fouls him. 16 points for Robertson.
And that's his 16 points. And there you see it. Robertson stealing the ball, getting the dribble. Great ball control by Robertson. Going up for the shot. And that was Oscar Robertson's 16th point. He now becomes the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Hitting on 7 of 10 from the field. That round of applause a moment ago was for John Havlicek, and he deserves it. He gets a rest now. And Gus Johnson of the Baltimore Bullets is replacing him. Oscar Robertson. Still a young man, Jack. Jerry West. 102-85. And a 25 to go, third quarter. Dick Van Arsdale, Chet Walker. Now with the Chicago Bulls. Dave DeBusschere.
You know, you mentioned Oscar Robertson, still a young man. You wouldn't know what to talk to him. Every time you talk to him off the court, it's, man, I'm tired. I'm so old and tired. Until he gets his hands on the ball.
Dick Van Arsdale. That's Gus Johnson. Notice how high he went, giving to Greer. Van Arsdale. To Alvin Hayes. Walker on the rebound. DeBusschere. Now Robertson. Al Greer. With less than 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter, 106-85. Greer fouls Jerry West. West now with 11 points in the ball game. Lou Alcindor. Robertson, Greer, Johnson. Traveling. 21 seconds. Weston and Van Arsdale outside. Walker and Baylor in the corner. There's Baylor. Shoving, pushing off by Elgin Baylor. His second foul. It's an offensive foul. Robertson long to Alcindor. DeBusschere. Johnson. And it is ruled a no basket as the buzzer sounds. The end of the third quarter. We'll be right back for the fourth quarter after this word from your local station. Snowing in Philadelphia is Alcindor and Hayes. Controlled by the leading East is Jimmy Walker of Detroit. Has his shot rebounded by Hayes. So for the West, it's Jerry West, Lou Hudson, who had 57 points in one game this year, giving to Hayes. Also in the lineup, Elgin Baylor. And Bill Bridges of Atlanta as Alcindor rebounds DeBusschere to Gus Johnson. Walker and Greer, the backcourt man. Here is Walker. DeBusschere trying. Now Johnson. Hayes. West. Elgin Baylor. Elvin Hayes. 106-87. Here at the start of the fourth quarter.
And since Alcindor came back in the lineup, the complexion of this game changed. His presence inside is a disconcerting fact for the other team. The West team, him in there, has been forced to go outside, and they're back to the way they were in the first quarter, not able to hit the long shot.
DeBusschere now with 6 points. And Bridges rebounds Baylor's shot. And there's Gus Johnson. Good pass to Greer. And Jack mentioning Al Cindor to say that he has helped the Milwaukee Bucks in their drive for the Eastern Division, right on the heels of the Knicks, actually.
He sure has, and again, like Wesley Unseld last year, taking Baltimore from last place to first place, and Lou Alcindor this year taking the Milwaukee Bucks and with the addition of one man, making a ball club a contender.
Lou Hudson of the Atlanta Hawks, All-American from University of Minnesota, gets his first point of the ball game. He's the number 6 scorer in the league with 25-point average. 110-89. Jimmy Walker to Dave DeBusschere. Greer. Rebounding Bridges. Stolen by Greer. Walker. Alcindor. DeBusschere. That last field goal by Lou Hudson. 112-91. DeBusschere. Greer. Thompson. DeBusschere. 114-91. 10 points for DeBusschere. If you're wondering, the total one-team high in NBA All-Star competition, 153 points for the West in 1961. Lou Hudson of the West. Laid that one off to Hayes. Hayes fouled by Alcindor, who now has 4.
First ball, Alcindor is 4.
The applause is for Oscar Robertson, replaced now by Flynn Robinson, number 21 of the Milwaukee Bucks. Team that's really drawing in that fine sports city. And we have the Bucks against Atlanta on our NBA Game of the Week from Georgia this Sunday. Baylor off to Hudson. DeBusschere. Jimmy Walker. Gus Johnson, a high school teammate of Nate Thurman. 116-91. Baylor on a great assist to Hudson. About 8:50 to go. Knocking it out of bounds was a big, quick Bill Bridges as Tom Van Arsdale gives DeBusschere a rest. Points for Gus Johnson. Jerry West. Alcindor. 9 rebounds for Lou. Flynn Robinson is Milwaukee teammate travels. If you just joined us, for the West, the team with the ball in the red uniforms. Jerry West 44, Hudson 23, Baylor 22, Bridges 32, and this is Elvin Hayes 11. That's Jack Madden, the official, calling a holding foul against Jim Walker, and there's Red Holtzman of the Knickerbockers, division leaders in the East and the division leaders in the West, Richie Guerin of the Atlanta Hawks. They earned their right to coach these two great teams. Hudson now has 7 points. This is Tom Van Arsdale, defense by Baylor and Alcindor over the top.
Glenn Robinson, West Carolina.
Glenn Robinson, who played for Wyoming, fouled West. Here is Glenn, number 21, and West 44 picks him up. Alcindor. Unprecedented 3 NCAA titles for UCLA. Johnny Wooden and his crew. 7:49 to go in the game. There's Big Lou.
Personal, Alcindor.
And Lou now has 5 personals. And Willis Reed waves to the scorer and says, "I'm coming in." And Alcindor. They appreciate him anywhere. Elgin Baylor, the MVP in 1959. 11th time in this game. Elgin has had an off night. 1 of 6 from the field. He has 2 points in the game. 3. 120 to 96.
Loose ball foul. 5.
Tom Van Arsdale fouling on the play. And it's a loose ball foul. It's timeout with the East leading 120 to 96 at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. We'll be back in just 1 minute.
Welcome back to the NBA's greatest game.
.42 remaining in the 20th NBA All-Star game. East has been so dominant, continue to be, leading the West 120 to 96. For the East, Willis Reed at center, Gus Johnson, Tom Van Arsdale, Jimmy Walker, and Flynn Robinson. While for the West, it's Bill Bridges, Jerry West, 22 Elgin Baylor at the line, Elvin Hayes, and 23 Lou Hudson. Elgin Baylor now with 5 points. Jimmy Walker. Gus Johnson. Robinson. Jerry West on the rebound. 5 for Jerry tonight. Lou Hudson. Knocked away by Walker. Hayes rebounding Hudson's shot. Cunningham waits to come in. Hayes now with 20 points. All right. Jerry West. Baylor. Gus Johnson, second foul. Billy Cunningham replaces Johnson, and Baylor goes back to the line. Jack, when you introduced the players, you gave the total of this man in the NBA, 12 years, just lots and lots, right? What, over 20,000 points?
2 years ago, or 3 years ago, with that knee operation, it was thought that he wouldn't be able to play again. Baylor right back there with a great deal of determination. Much the same problem, Chris, that faces Wilt Chamberlain right now.
That shows you the determination of the Van Arsdales, and they got enough muscle.
There's Van Arsdale cutting across. Great body control. He shields the ball. And it was a pretty good move. It was hard to see a foul there. Great move by Van Arsdale.
On opposite teams, Dick Van Arsdale for the West has 8 points, and now Tom Van Arsdale has 5 for the East. Robinson, Baylor. Now Walt Frazier in the East lineup, number 10. A little behind the back bounce works, doesn't it? Frazier with 7 points, guarding West. A little body contact there. Jack Madden spots a loose ball foul on it's on Bill Bridges.
Chris, as we see the Philadelphia 76er officials collecting the most valuable player ballots from the sports writers that are in attendance here, it'd be a good time for the people watching it at home to pick their most valuable player in this game.
Did you get to vote, Jack?
I'm too busy.
That's the truth. Fast-moving game as Willis Reed. Look at that left-handed hook shot. Ooh, last touch by those in red. Joe Caldwell of the Atlanta Hawks places his Atlanta teammate Bill Bridges in the corner. Robinson, 125 to 104. Cunningham, stolen away by Caldwell. Watch him jump. Cunningham, look out. Frazier. Hayes. Baylor. West. 125 to 108. 14 points for Jerry. I think Walt Frazier is one of the best men in the league at finding an open man wherever he is.
He keys the New York offense. And speaking of the New York offense and Walt Frazier, we mentioned the Western Division race, but New York, with a record of 38-11, are playing great ball, but they look behind them, and there's Milwaukee with only 16 losses. So Milwaukee Bucks with Lou Alcindor far from out of it in that Eastern Division.
Elvin Hayes, a rebound, has 22 points. You saw his field goal a moment ago. Now Caldwell to Elvin. Hayes, incidentally, in addition to 22 points in this game, has 14 rebounds. Whereas we're looking at Oscar Robertson, Coach Red Holtzman also sends in John Havlicek, Tom Van Arsdale, and Flynn Robinson on the bench now. So it's Frazier and Robertson in the backcourt. What a pair. Elgin Baylor steals it. Lou Hudson. 4:24 left in the game. Hudson with 9. 127, 112. Robertson now with 19 points. And there's a timeout here at the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Final 4 minutes and 11 seconds on the clock in this 20th annual All-Star game. The East 129, the West 112. There you see Richie Powers and Lou Hudson, 23 and 44, Jerry West.
As we look at Jerry West, again a reminder, Oscar Robertson, number 14 in the East with 19 points, breaking the all-time All-Star scoring record of 224 points, set by Bob Pettit by 4 points.
Hudson of the Atlanta Hawks on the field goal. He now has 11 points. Walt Frazier. Cunningham rebounds. Willis Reed. Hudson tapping it to Caldwell. Foul. Let's see. Backcourt foul. Willis Reed now with 4 personals.
Here's slow motion of that play. There, he grabbed him right there as he went around.
You're looking at Jumping Joe Caldwell. He got that nickname while at Arizona State because he jumped over the top of a convertible.
Another apropos nickname for Joe Caldwell is Pogo, and that's what his teammates call him.
That was Jack Twyman, who played in 6 NBA All-Star games, and in 1 scored 27 points in the first half. Oscar Robertson.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Like Willie Moscone with a cue stick. It's put English on the ball. 9 of 12 from the field for Oscar. Caldwell. Oh.
Caldwell isn't even cracking a smile on that one, Chris.
131 to 118. Havlicek guarded by Chet Walker. Robertson. Frazier.
Should we make an attempt, Chris, to describe Frazier's outfit as he came to the game tonight?
Well, it was as wild an exterior attire as the interior attire of Wilt Chamberlain, right?
I think he had a sealskin coat on, patent leather pumps, bell-bottom shoes, and a Bonnie or a Clyde hat from the old days of Bonnie and Clyde.
That's why he's nicknamed Clyde. You're looking at him now. Robertson, Cunningham. Traveling. That was a traveling call. It could have been an offensive foul, too, couldn't it have? He really put his shoulder into Caldwell. Well, with only 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining here in the Spectrum, the score is the East 131, the West 120. Jerry West to Lou Hudson. 2:33 to go. It's 131 to 120. The West trailing. Well, that helps matters, brings them within 9 points.
You know, Chris, that is reminiscent of the Chicago-Milwaukee game the other night, where with only 4:30 left in the game, Milwaukee was ahead by 15 and lost the ball game. So with shooters like we have out there on the floor and with a 24-second clock, anything can happen.
Spectacular basketball, and there will be a doubleheader on Thursday, January 22nd at the Astrodome in Houston. An NBA spectacular, LA, San Francisco, San Diego, Milwaukee. This is John Havlicek. Let's see, on the 8 points now, separating these two teams. 2:15 to go. MVP at stake. Robertson of the East in the running, I'm sure. Hayes of the West. Well, and Reed of the East. We'll see. Billy Cunningham. He intended that for Reed, but was knocked away. And Jerry West, let's see. Was he on the line? Forced out of bounds. He was forced out of bounds. There he is. 2:05 to go. 131 to 123. This is Chet Walker, guarded by Havlicek. Back outside to West. And now they trail by only 6 points. 19 points for Jerry West. The East with the ball. And goaltending called against Hayes. He tried to erase it, but it was there.
Once again, Elvin Hayes going up in the air. Once the ball starts on its downward path to the basket, you can't disturb it. And the referees ruled that Hayes caught the ball on its way down to the basket.
1:40 to go. Here's Hayes now. Reed on him. And let's see. Jack Madden stops a foul on Greer. And going to the foul line here in the closing 2 minutes of the game, the lineups for the East in the lead. Well, first the West as we look at Jerry West, Chet Walker, Lou Hudson, Joe Caldwell, and Elvin Hayes. While for the East, it's Willis Reed, Billy Cunningham, Hal Greer, Oscar Robertson, and John Havlicek. Trailing by 7 now. The East with the ball. The press is on. At the midcourt, Greer leading Havlicek. Oh! Havlicek now with 16 points. I'm glad I wasn't asked to vote now.
Let's you and I go out on a limb, Chris. You pick your most valuable player.
I don't have time, Jack.
I'm going to stick my neck out and pick Willis Reed.
All right. I'll go along with that. Reed now with 5 personal fouls. There's Lou Hudson. This is a man that has had 13 points all here in the second half. Now 14. 1:10 to go. 135 to 127. 135 to 128. Going by Greer. And Oscar Robertson quickly forms the tee with both hands. Timeout. And there's still a discussion about what happened on that last play. I believe they're going to award the ball out of bounds to the East, and Joe Caldwell of the West wondered why. And there you see Willis Reed, 19, Robertson, 14, 32, Billy Cunningham, 17, John Havlicek, and 15, Hal Greer. And Hudson, 23, and 44, Jerry West. Right in front of us, Hal Greer. Joe Caldwell, who had the ball, was out of bounds, so it was awarded to the East. That's Havlicek. Guarded by Hudson. Now Robertson. Havlicek. Cunningham. Greer. Willis Reed and Hayes battling for it. And Reed, 6 fouls. Let's see.
There's Greer's shot. Reed coming in. Number 19 coming in over the back. There you see, makes it with his body right there. Foul called on Willis Reed.
Listen to the applause for New York Knickerbocker Willis Reed. And he is really disappointed. So we were playing in an NBA playoff game. He goes to the bench, and here's the man that he's had to play against. Elvin Hayes with 22 points and 14 rebounds. Now make it 23. Reed with 21 points and 12 rebounds. 51 seconds left in this game. Getting it back was Hudson. Once more, Joe Caldwell. Al Cindar, who replaced Reed. Havlicek. Greer. Back to a 9-point lead. Greer with 15 points. Hudson. Al Cindar. In its upward motion. Havlicek. Oscar Robertson. Hayes knocks it away. Jerry West. 24 seconds to go. Caldwell. Basket counts, foul on the play. 1 shot.
You think enjoying himself out there? He went down on the floor after a ball. He blocked the shot. And here's slow motion of Caldwell driving across. Right there with a foul. He got him on the arm. Caldwell goes in for the bet.
And most unusual, both East centers have fouled out. Reed and Al Cindar. And Gus Johnson comes in. Al Cindar, 10 points, 10 rebounds. At the line is Joe Caldwell. 20 seconds to go. 139 to 133. Well, the West has tried hard. They've battled back. Robertson of the East to Havlicek. They've won 5 of the last 6. In the series, it's 13 victories for the East and 6 for the West. That's Joe Caldwell looking at the overhead computerized scoreboard. Walker commits the foul, and one of the great competitors in any sport, John Havlicek, at the line. 16 points. .140, 133, 9 seconds left in the game. Jerry West leads. 5 seconds to go. Cunningham. 1 second. That's it. All right. 142 to 135. Here's J. Walter Kennedy. Bob Bertone of the Philadelphia 76ers handing the trophy to Walter Kennedy.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Moses Malone will jump it up. Kareem has played extremely well against Moses and Houston. The competition between the Rockets and the Lakers. George Gervin will take the first shot.
George Gervin is not going to have the problem he had in past All-Star games. He's home. He's looking at the hoop. He's going to get off to a gunning start.
Westfall with the left hand. He'll shoot it up with either hand. The East on the board and the first turnover. And generally speaking, we have a lot of turnovers early in this game because the players are not accustomed to working with one another. They're not familiar with their cuts. David Thompson now of Denver brings it up. His teammate George McGinnis goes to Westfall. Westfall slides around the screen. Picked up by Malone and out to Kareem. Cross court McGinnis. Tom Janovich. And the East comes across with Pete Maravich in that heavy knee brace, which has burdened him this year. Coming back from surgery, the doctor. Thompson in the middle. Dishes to Marcus Johnson of Milwaukee. On the miss. Out of bounds. It'll go over to the East. George Gervin.
Brent, one of the things that the players are concerned with out here, they have so much respect for each other that sometimes they overpass.
Out of bounds. Kareem had touched on the end line there, so the East will keep possession. And I was just reminded that the last time Thompson played in this city, he lit it up with 73 points. That was down at Cobo.
He set those nets on fire down there at Cobo. Of course, he's been playing great basketball lately, so we might see another good shooting performance from him.
The pistol. Way off. And on the air ball, rebounded by Malone, and Irving had it knocked away as he drove to the glass.
That ball that time was knocked out of Irving's hand. Jabbar knocked out of bounds. He's looking for some help from the official. They don't give it to him, and the West brings the ball up.
Thompson to Westfall on the left, and here's McGinnis. They front Kareem with Rudy T, and now Rudy follows George, and here's Thompson.
David Thompson.
Strong Texas flavor to this Eastern team as Maravich of New Orleans makes it 1 of 2 for him. Abdul-Jabbar checks in as he holds off Moses. Rudy T made the defensive play, but the West keeps possession, and Johnson.
Marcus Johnson from West.
The amazing thing about both these basketball teams is early they're running a lot of set stuff. They seem to be setting up more than they're trying to run. Normally in All-Star games you get the breaking opportunities.
And here we have a break right now with George McGinnis on the steal.
Maravich brings it up for the East. Turnovers now, 3 against the East and none against the West. Maravich. Westfall spins inside. Now the East comes up. Tricky move off to Gervin. Marcus Johnson's outlet. Westfall is all alone. He'll have the easy layup at the other end. So it's 8-6 West over the East.
That time in the East, they were caught in a situation where they didn't have any floor balance. A good play by Marcus Johnson, looking up immediately upon receiving the rebound.
So the East will have the ball out of bounds. They trail here by a field goal. First period. 29th annual NBA All-Star Game. The foul call as Julius Erving put up the shot.
Irving finally getting that basketball down and deep. He said last night he's got his eyes on being the MVP also. He's not gotten off to a good start in past All-Star games. struggled the first time in Milwaukee. He had a great game, a lot of spectacular stuff. Today, we may see some of the same.
And here he is, the doctor from Philadelphia, the man who's been carrying the 76ers for the last month. He, of course, now is all alone on that team with McGinnis out in Denver. They've added Bobby Jones up front. Doug Collins, of course, would be here today, but he is injured. So Irving hits the free throw. We're 8-7. We're 8:34 to go, first period. Thompson now brings it down for the West. They're the dark road uniforms. As Westfall gets free on a beautiful move, came to the glass, goaltending the call, scored.
Goaltending violation.
Real good move by Paul Westfall that time.
George McGinnis.
Here he goes on a backdoor cut. George Gervin in there to goaltend the call. Good play, playing without the ball.
At the other end, it was over the head by Maravich, and Moses Malone came up with the field goal. So the Pistol and Malone go to work right here. You'll see it again.
Oh, you see Pete come in, a little razzmatazz. He brings it right behind his head, and Malone, always active inside, takes it right up, puts a cap on it, gets fouled, doesn't get the three-point play.
Now Westfall comes up. Here's the doctor. Gets free of one man to the left hand. Kareem to Westfall, and here's Thompson.
David Thompson from Westfall.
The West has so many guys back on that they just really don't know what to do. Thompson has Marcus Johnson ahead. He pulls it right on the top.
McGinnis, the man in the middle, was tripped up as he came across. Julius accidentally tripping him. Helps George up.
That's his
first personal against Julius, and the first team foul on the East.
Again, the East is not having the floor balance that they need, and the West has taken advantage of it 2 or 3 times today. So the Eastern Conference Stars come up led by Maravich. Tomjanovich hits the pistol, top of the circle. It's a 1-point West lead as they come down.
Well, John, that leg doesn't look too bad to me. Maravich, he might have a good shot at MVP also.
I talked to him before the game, and he says it's weak, and he wants to get rid of that brace at the end of the season, but he has to wear it this year.
Gervin goes to the left, and Irving lost control of the ball on the turnover. And Westfall from behind the back to the attack. The whistle had sounded, chance for the three-pointer as he drew the foul. Paul Westfall has stood out in each of the last 2 All-Star games.
Well, Westfall's a great offensive player, and it's cold outside, and he's beginning to heat it up in here. You'll see he comes right in. The lane opens up right there. He just takes it to the hoop, doing what he does best.
Speaking of heating up, that roar was for that man, number 16, Bob Lanier. He's in his 7th NBA All-Star game, and he was added to the team by Commissioner Larry O'Brien because of the injuries suffered by Doug Collins.
We have his injury right there. He's got some problems with his eye. He may not get rolling yet.
We also have Calvin Murphy in the game at this point, and I know that Calvin is excited to play in this one, so let's give him a look early.
6 points for Westfall already. 15-11 on the strength of that free throw. Maravich was 6th, leading the East. And here's the little man, Calvin. Godley for the rebound. East touched it last. It'll go now to the West. And we've got our first timeout here in Pontiac. So the largest crowd to ever see an NBA All-Star game is on hand here at the Silver Dome. It's in excess of 30,000. We'll be right back with the West leading 15-11. Couldn't be with us today, but the mascot from San Diego, the chicken, is here, and the crowd loves him.
He's all world for sure.
He is that. Offered $100,000 to jump. He stayed there in San Diego, turned down Ted Turner's 6 figures. He's probably making just as much down there. Saw Gene Shue last night, speaking of that city, and they're doing fine, aren't they? They pulled ahead of Portland out there in the Pacific. Kareem with his first hook shot.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from David Thompson.
So far, Westfall and Maravich have been the hot shooters in this game. The East and White. Here's Calvin Murphy to Lanier. George Gervin still there. Rudy Tomjanovich and the doctor. Quick pass to Calvin. Gets open.
Well, he made thing, John, about the both teams is the fact that they worked the play so well early in the ball game.
That time he set up very nicely behind the pick and took that open jumper.
Dennis Johnson of the Supersonics on the floor as Marcus Johnson missed that shot. Scooped up by Thompson to the glass.
Basket is good by
And
Thompson.
the basket counts, and he was fouled. So here will come David.
Foul on number 16, Bob Lanier.
Well, it's tough when you got a max truck as big as Bob Lanier's. You try and get that thing set right there. David Thompson comes right over the top. Lanier's in there too late. Thompson gets a chance at a couple of free throws.
Bob Lanier acting a little bit on that, too.
6 points for Thompson. Murphy to Gervin. Slides the baseline. The doctor wants to crash inside. Was slammed by Kareem. This is the doctor's kind of showcase. Not too many plays. Let's just go wide open. Like
when he can get in a one-on-one situation, wide open spread floor, he can really put on a spectacular show. The problem so far today, he has not taken the ball with him. He's gone on the air, but no ball.
Maurice Lucas of the Trailblazers checking in for the West.
So many times in the game like this, the players really try to get to the basket a little too often. They pass up the outside shots, and I think if they start hitting a few of those, it'll open it up for Julius and people with that ability to give a good one-on-one show.
And Walter Davis, last year's Rookie of the Year from Phoenix, now on the floor for the West. Dick Motta and Lenny Wilkins go to their benches, and what benches they are. Thompson comes out. Dennis Johnson. Lucas is gone to the floor. Now he's back up. Kareem inside to Thompson, and he is stuffed but foul. Elvin Hayes and Julius Irving, and the foul is against the doctor.
That's his second, the team's fourth.
Well, this is the only midget that hangs around underneath the basket right here. Thompson on pogo sticks right there. He tries to take it up over Irving and Elvin Hayes. He gets it batted back, but he also gets the free throws.
Underneath, the West is not scoring. McGinnis with a couple, Marcus with a couple, and Jabbar with a couple. So only 3 field goals out of that talented front line right now. The East doing very well inside on defense as they did that time. Lanier forcing the ball back outside.
Brett, there's so many offensive stars in the game that when you get in a situation like this, you'll find that they also really start to play defense.
David
because they don't want to be embarrassed at the other end.
It's 22-15 as the West opens it up. Murphy goes diving for the ball, and as he lost it, he was tied up by Dennis Johnson.
Now Murphy's still got a little excitement in him. He's still so happy to be here. He's not gotten himself under control. He's flying all over the court. He's got the one basket, but he's not really been able to get himself under control. We'll see what happens. He's going against the Skyjack here and Dennis Johnson.
Speaking of Skyjacks, here's the big man from Chicago. Artis Gilmore checks in, and Kareem will take a break. Won by Dennis, who tapped it off to Gilmore. So the West will come down now with Dennis Johnson, David Thompson, Artis Gilmore, Davis, and Lucas, who just had the ball knocked away by the Big E, Elvin Hayes. Hayes has never missed one of these all-star games in his career. Houston, Washington, San Diego. Davis spins in and out. Goes back now to pick up on defense. Here's Murphy. The doctor.
The East would be best at trying to run, get down in a spread floor situation. The West seems to be much better at setting up and getting the outside shot, working the ball.
Hayes comes back down on Maurice, who just scored on him. So Lucas and Hayes trade field goals. Lucas has it knocked away. Gilmore with a hand on it. Lucas. Knocked free again. Calvin Murphy down the foot race. It's 3-on-2 under his legs. The doctor not ready for it.
Calvin got a little excited that time and ended up making a bad pass, but I'm sure that he wants to make up for that one somewhere along the line.
Doctor is just saying to Calvin right now, he's saying, Calvin, Henry Bibby didn't hit me with one of those last week. I wasn't ready for it.
You see Calvin has the ball right in the middle, and they got an excellent break. He sees Julius Irving on the wing, but he doesn't give it up to him.
you're responsible for that. He's going to throw the board. Okay. If you make it, that's release him to hit the board. That was Dick Motta talking to Calvin Murphy about hitting the board.
Jack Sigma replaces Artis Gilmore in the West lineup.
Artis Gilmore has come out of the game because he gets hit right here. He got a finger in the eye. He's going to be looked at. They're over at the bench right now attending to him.
So Jack Sigma of Seattle will work against Lanier in the pivot. Bill Jones over there tending to Artis, the doctor alongside him. Lucas gets Hayes up in the air and drew the foul. There's
Foul
Artis
number
being
11,
tended to.
Elvin Hayes. That's his first penalty.
Is that a bloody
situation.
nose, I believe? Yes, it is.
Maurice Lucas at the line, 3 to make 2.
Team fouls. The East now over the limit with 5. The West with 3.
Brent, the West should have really come out in business suits. I mean, they have been very businesslike about this game all evening, last night, today. Ever since they've been selected here, they've been very businesslike about their approach.
Bobby Dandridge out there with Bob Lanier, Julius Erving, Elvin Hayes, and Calvin Murphy for the East. It's a 5-point lead by the West. Great pass by Davis to Dennis Johnson. Knocked free. Murphy to the attack. Here's the doctor.
Calvin got it back that time. A beautiful 3-on-2 fast break. He hit Julius with a pass he could handle.
Dennis Johnson.
Dennis Johnson.
Again, you see Murphy in the middle and Irving on the wing. This time they capitalize. He gets it down.
Lanier just drives on Sigma and then missed the left-handed shot. Thompson travels. Otis Birdsong of Kansas City reports in for Lenny Wilkins and the West, and the West elects to call a timeout right now for turnovers. 7 against the East and only 3 against the West, and that's been a difference. It shows on the scoreboard with the West up by 5.
It's so wonderful to make a child's.
This man played in 12 All-Star games. This man played in 12 All-Star games. Most valuable player 3 times. Oscar Robertson, a big O. You must really get up for this game.
Oh, it's a great classic when I played. I enjoyed it. Basketball was my life then.
How about now? What you doing?
Well, I'm in the construction business, but I'm here doing a job for the Pepsi Hot Shots.
It's the closest I ever got to you since I guarded you.
No, you got closer than that a few times, Rod. Believe me.
All right, Oscar. Let's go back to Brenda Boys. More basketball.
Oscar was fouled on every shot, and Hot Rod knows it, and so do the officials. Oscar looks great. He's put on a little bit of weight, likes to play some tennis. He's got a daughter who's 5'10", becoming a marvelous athlete herself. All right, back here in the white right now, Eastern Conference All-Stars. Julius outside, off iron down, off Elvin Hayes' hands, and hold on, says Madden, we got a loose ball foul underneath.
Elvin Hayes got real good inside position that time. Maurice Lucas tried to take it away from him, getting called for the foul.
He wanted to know how he could jump with all that weight on his back.
It's a 5-point Western Conference lead right now. The East with possession. Pete Maravich going to check in soon. Hayes up high with the bounce, but didn't go down. Sigma's off. Davis to the attack. He's lightning quick, and he can come through, I'll tell you. Fine offensive forward who moves so well without the ball. There he is, popping out to get it now. Looking for an open man. Here's Birdsong. Goes back to Walter Davis. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Lanier.
2 minutes. 2 minutes left.
Calvin Murphy down the right side. Slides inside. Throws up. Elvin Hayes missed it on the out. Walter Davis off to Birdsong, who is hustling on the left, and Dennis Johnson taps it in.
Well, that's what that great speed will do for you. Walter Davis just flew past Bobby Dandridge and got it down, got him a quick opportunity, and they followed up.
On the turnover, it's Birdsong. Lucas slows to regain control. Hits Davis. Neither team shooting particularly well here the last couple of minutes. Dandridge.
Right, I thought Dick Motta told Murphy to release and come back. What's he doing underneath the board?
Minute 10 left in the first period here at the Silver Dome. Lucas gets Hayes up in the air again, and Elvin looked a bit lost there, and so Lucas threw up the shot. Davis.
Walter Davis.
Dennis Johnson going with the doctor and a little too closely fouled him.
One of the things in playing against Julius Erving so many times, you never wanted to give him that baseline, because once he gets toward the hoop in that position, he's almost impossible to stop. You try and get him into a situation where you can get some help, because he can't be guarded one-on-one.
Embarrass you one-on-one.
Here's the penalty coming up, 32-26, and the doctor with that last free throw. There's the pistol back. Sikma's the man down in the hole. Artis Gilmore's bloody nose not serious. I'm sure he'll be back. Sikma plays facing the basket very well.
That's where he plays best, when he can look at the hoop and get that little jump shot off. Does an excellent job of keeping opposition off balance because he puts the ball behind his head.
One of the reasons he's so effective in doing that, he keeps his shoulders square to the basket, which gives him a good chance to shoot the ball directly at it rather than at an angle.
Maravich bringing down the clock, and he gives it up on the turnover. Here's Birdsong. Inside for the field goal. Last second, that'll end the first period. So Otis Birdsong takes advantage of the turnover by Maravich at the end of the first period. 36-27. The West has opened up a lead as you see Otis go to the hole. That is bringing more and more conventions into this area. For example, in 1980, the Republicans will hold their national convention here in this city. Dennis Johnson throws it back to Maurice Lucas. The Western Conference All-Stars are in the blue jerseys, the East in the white. And it's Bobby Dandridge bringing it up now of the Washington Bullets. This is his 4th NBA All-Star game. He was a 4th-round draft choice. Campy Russell in for the first time. Hayes fouled as he threw up the shot. Maurice Lucas.
East has a very tall team, and Campy Russell's playing in the backcourt along with Maravich. That gives them Lanier, Hayes, and Bobby Dandridge up front. They got a lot of height, pretty good quickness and mobility. Again, they've had more success trying to run than setting up.
So here's the man who earlier this year became the 10th player in NBA history to surpass 20,000 regular season points. He led this league in scoring as a rookie when he played for the San Diego Rockets. Played 4 years for the Rockets. The last one, of course, being in Houston before being traded to the Bullets for Jack Merritt. And last year, he finally got his wish, an NBA championship. The West coming down now. A second-year pro also out of Houston, Otis Birdsong, now with Kansas City teaming with Phil Ford. Dennis Johnson to Artis Gilmore. Big fella from Chicago is back after sustaining that bloody nose. Birdsong tightened up by Lanier, who'd come out on defense. Back into the corner now, Dennis Johnson outside. And Otis Birdsong with an offensive rebound. Good fake by Maurice. Moves inside for the field goal.
Maurice Lucas.
38-29. The West now with 11 minutes to go here in the first half. Lanier will take it up outside. He's an outstanding shooter for a big man. 6'11". Now it's Walter Davis from North Carolina trying to find daylight on the baseline, and he was blocked off there by Dandridge.
Foul on number 10, Bob Dandridge. That's his first, the team's first.
Walter Davis trying to use that quickness, and he gets by Bobby Dandridge to get that block call. Otis Birdsong has the ball out in front.
Quick pass to Dennis Johnson, and goaltending scores. Lanier was up. That's a fine pass by Davis. That's his second good pass.
Well, they've run great offensive set stuff. I mean, it's amazing. They've only been in here a day and been together, and they've run these patterns like they've been together for 3 or 4 months.
Campy Russell played his high school basketball less than 2 miles away. Pass back by Maravich, and here's Lanier again. 2 quick field goals by Big Bob.
Great play by Maravich. He's one of the people in the league that probably sees the floor as well as anyone, picking out Bob Lanier being wide open.
Foul called by Vanek.
Here we have Pete going toward the hoop, and he can see he's picked up by Gilmore. He knows that Bob Lanier is open. With a good fake, he goes into the hoop. 2 points.
That's a sweet wraparound pass right there. Not many guys can make that pass.
The foul was on Hayes and Larry Keenan. San Antonio Spurs, number 35. He was not a bit at all bashful down in Atlanta last year. He threw a shot up for every minute he was on the floor. Walter Davis looking smooth, hitting the passes, and now he's starting to warm it up as a shooter, too. Keenan gives it off to Maravich. Maravich with a brace on his right knee. Comes free. He's turned it over again. Maravich having trouble handling the ball. Westfall wants the foul. And Hayes wisely lets him have the field goal. Back quickly now to Campy Russell of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Keenan's on his right side. Campy will take it outside himself. Run down by Artis Gilmore, who gives it up. And here's the man doing it all for the West right now, Walter Davis of Phoenix. Pull-up jump shot. Artis Gilmore with an offensive rebound. Cannot stop Artis right there. Just score it when he gets the ball in that spot. 46-33. The West has opened up some daylight now in this game. Keenan. Down comes the West again. Westfall goes back to McGinnis and Big George. In straight block by Hayes, who awaited and anticipated McGinnis perfectly.
The West has just done a better job of limiting the East to just 1 shot. They've come down and freelance, put the ball up from the outside. The West has gotten the ball off the board, got breaking opportunities, got it down. When they had to set up, they've set up and they've scored. They got a 13-point lead.
Marcus Johnson of Milwaukee is sent back in by Lenny Wilkins. Hayes was also taken out for the East. Birdsong. Birdsong so much more effective for Cotton Fitzsimmons this year now that he's able to be the shooting guard, and Phil Ford, of course, running the Kings attack. Maravich to the glass.
That's a pretty play when you're that far away from the basket and they're only taking 1 dribble to go that distance. You know that he's doing it real well.
Gervin with a great block here on Westfall. Went to the left hand.
Back to Pete on this one-on-one move. 1 dribble from 18 feet away into the hoop. Good body control for the layup.
Birdsong again.
Otis Birdsong from Westfall.
Now on the floor for the East, we've got Gervin and Maravich. Keenan handling the ball. Campy Russell, and we've also got Moses Malone back on the floor. Russell, high off the glass, good shot.
He worked on that shot all day yesterday with Calvin Murphy. He lost all the horse games, but he's warmed up today.
It's a very difficult shot to block. He takes it back over his head, and it's tough to get to.
Get a timeout!
West retains it, and I think you can hear Vanek yelling that we've got a timeout out here. And when you come back, Calvin Murphy of the Houston Rockets will be on the floor for the East, and they've fallen behind 50-37 in the second period. The Silver Dome and the Western Conference All-Stars, led by Paul Westfall with 9 points and 4 assists, has opened up a 50-37 lead with 8:34 to go in the first half. The West has hit 7 of 12 this period, 19 of 42 for the game. Westfall taken down by Malone. Took a couple of steps, then this was Keenan off the go. Campy Russell to the glass, run down by Marcus Johnson.
Problem for the East, they can't decide what spectacular play they're going to make. Consequently, they're missing the easy hoop.
Artis Gilmore.
Artis Gilmore from McGinnis.
So I gave Malone credit for a rebound. That should have gone to San Antonio's Larry Keenan, who came out of there quickly on the fly. Russell now going to Moses Malone inside, through the foul from Gilmore, and goes to the floor.
Definitely will go to the floor when you're knocked down by a big, strong left arm like that. He got him up in the air, got him to take that little elevator trip, and you'll see that arm comes right across. Malone inside, deep, a good pump fake. Watch this left arm. End result, broken back.
Not that serious, Stephen. Come on.
This is going to be one of the outstanding players in the league. He's only in his 4th year, but he's also an individual that would have been coming out of college or been a rookie this year. So he has a long way to go, and he's doing very well in the league.
And you can tell that he's starting to fill out in the upper body.
15 pounds over the last summer.
Gilmore, the shot clock goes down inside 10, and the West has turned it over. So the East now trying to come back with Gervin, Murphy, Russell, Malone, and Keenan. They trail at 52-39 and 7:30 to go in the first half. Here's Keenan.
The East is going to get back in this basketball game when they decide to slow down, get themselves under control, take advantage of the miscues and the turnovers. There'll be plenty of them, and they've got a lot of offensive firepower.
Speaking of taking advantage of turnovers, they've got a chance right here to convert after Artis Gilmore's traveling violation. Gervin gets free of Birdsong coming to the glass. George fouled as he assaulted the hoop that time.
We have a real good pass coming up. The defender Birdsong loses his man momentarily. Gervin going into the basket, body control. He tried to get a little too much English on him. Ended up being fouled, did not get the three-point play.
Thompson returns and Birdsong out. And here's George Gervin, who won the NBA scoring title, responding to Thompson's 73-point production that final Sunday with 63 points.
Not a bad day. The only reason he couldn't get 70, he just got tired.
6', 7" guard. Gervin goes down on defense, matched against David Thompson. Westfall hit in the face by Calvin Murphy.
Basket is good.
It was accidental, and Calvin knew it right away. So we're going to have a timeout called by Dick Motter. And the Eastern Conference All-Stars, the West in their dark blue, leads it 54-43. 6 minutes and 59 seconds to go right now in the first half.
Olympic medalist Susie Koroff.
Commissioner Larry O'Brien of the NBA, and understand, Larry, that there's going to be expansion in the future for the NBA.
Yes, there's been a lot of interest expressed around the country from a number of cities, Hot Rod, and we're going to be taking a look at these applications of these cities. We'll go to no more than 2-team expansion by no later than 80-81 season.
I want to thank you for that seat you gave me.
No, I saw you up there, and didn't you just notice I was calling you? You can have my seat right after this interview, Howard. I'll go back up there because you're entitled. You've been in this game before.
Thank you. We'll be talking to you after the game with the Most Valuable Player Award. Now back to Brent and the guys.
Why didn't the commissioner ask him if he ever passed the ball in this game? That's what I want to know.
Ever in life.
In one game, I think he shot 15 times in 14 minutes.
Is that right? Here's Paul Westfall. He got a leg up now, if you want to think about the MVP award in this competition. He's been pursuing it for each of the last couple of years. Here's Calvin, 23.
He's always got that leg up, but never gotten it down.
Here he is right now. Gives it up to Thompson on the right wing, and David comes in with a great move. Yanked the ball free at the last second, and it's showtime for the Western Conference. 56 points already, and the frustrated East trying to dig in.
Well, that's Calvin Murphy coming back at you. He just feels like they're doing a little too much. Watch Thompson, a little show and tell way up in the air and just glides in. Nice when you can jump that high.
Gilmore looking for an open man. Shot clock inside of 10. George McGinnis.
George McGinnis.
So that's 58 points with still 6 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first half in this All-Star game. And if you like shooting, you're going to love the rest of this one. Here they come again. Westfall. Again, Paul Westfall trying to draw the foul as he came to the glass, and he almost lost control that time.
Well, the West has just had great defense, taking advantage of all the loose balls and turnovers, and great offense at their end.
13 points, Steve, for Westfall already in this competition. The East has turned it over. They are completely frustrated right now.
They're giving up a lot of cheap baskets. That must be about the 5th fast break. No, one person just going to the hoop with no defender back. They have to get much better floor balance to get back into the game.
Hot Rod Hundley has found his next guest. All right, David Thompson now bringing it up. Here they come. They have been awesome so far. The Western Conference All-Stars in blue. Big George of Denver. Westfall inside to the Gilmore. The rolls in that hard shot. They're unstoppable right now. Gervin picked up by Thompson. Calvin Murphy lets the Doctor have it inside. Doctor dishing it off, went out of bounds. And the East will keep possession as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar checks in. And I believe Bob Lanier will soon be in also. Yes, here he is from the Eastern Conference Stars. You can see him there in the background.
The thing that the East must do now is just put the ball in the air. They have tried to make the big spectacular passes. In some cases they've been successful, but they haven't gotten the ball in the air enough to really get a chance to score.
Doctor quickly hits one. They've scored 47, the West up with 62, and 5 minutes to go in the first half. Tom Janovich will soon check back in for Dick Motta too. Thompson and Westfall in the backcourt. McGinnis, Kareem, and Marcus Johnson back. Give and go to McGinnis, went to the left hand. Tapped it back in on the other side.
George McGinnis had the flu yesterday, and he certainly doesn't show it today.
Worked on his offensive rebounding that time. Got a great pass from Jabbar inside.
Hampy Russell to Lanier. Lanier giving it up, and they lose it on the turnover. It'll go to the West.
Well, he begged for this one. Please let me have it. You'll see the cutter comes in. McGinnis makes a great move right there to get himself righted and up at the hoop. He can't get it down the first time, but second time he does.
McGinnis has fouled out of 14 games with Denver this season, and that team is 1-13 in those 14 games. Demonstrates his value as he puts it down, and he was fouled that time. So George McGinnis, formerly of Indiana, and then with the Philadelphia 76ers, he has scored 386 points from the foul line. So that ranks him second this year in the NBA, and here's the big horse.
George McGinnis been to the free throw line more than anyone else in the NBA this year. He's averaging about 11 free throws a game.
The thing is, most of the time he's against a person who's much slower, and he takes advantage of his quickness. He's 6'8", but he plays like a guy who's 6'3" or 4.
Demonstrating that one-handed form. That is 66 points for the Western Conference All-Stars with 4:20 to go. George Gervin rolling one up and in, and you can hear the whistle. There was also a foul on it. So magnificent George Gervin, who certainly is one hot hand who could help bring the Eastern Conference back into this game if he can erupt that high arching shot. 6'7" guard.
The way they'll be successful in getting back in this game is to try to get the ball off the board and run. If they can play some pretty good defense that they're in, they'll get a chance to get some breaks and get some hoops.
And the men who are on top and very much in command go to work again. McGinnis giving it up. Westfall gets position on Murphy. McGinnis again, missing this time underneath. Marcus Johnson coming back up, and there was a foul underneath.
Foul on number 16, Bob Lanier.
Well, John, we know why these guys came to play right here.
That's right. The winner's going to get $1,000, the loser's going to get $650, and believe me, the West is going at it right now. This may be the best two-way player in the game, Marcus Johnson. I think that in his second year, he's developed the outside shot that has really opened up his game, and it's no telling what he's going to do. He plays both ends of the floor as well as anyone.
They're playing like pool boys.
Jack Sigma, number 43, has returned for the West. Coach Lenny Wilkins. You would think with the coaching matchups that the two men who guided teams to the championship last year would get the nod. Not so. Dick Motta and Lenny Wilkins had the best records in their respective conferences in mid-January. On the turnover and the steal, it's Thompson.
We have an interesting situation here. Dick Motta has gone to Julius Erving and George Gervin in the backcourt, thinking that they may be able to post some of the smaller guards on the opposite end of the floor.
If they can keep the ball at this end of the court, they may have a shot at it.
And it finally goes down. Here is that play again on the stuff. David Skywalker just soaring to the glass for the Western Conference. They have scored 70 points now in the first half. Abdul-Jabbar turns around at the baseline. Marcus Johnson gives the West a second chance. Bob Lanier. Gervin in the middle. Fakes once and comes up and in.
Watch what they have to do. They have to put the ball in the air. They ought to get down quickly and set up. They're not too good at running their patterns and their set offense, so if they can get down and get the quick shot, they got a chance.
Gervin now with 9 points, 7 here in the second period. He has warmed up.
Okay, for Westfall.
Johnson turns around on Rudy T. Lanier with a hand run down by Sigma, who gets it off as he goes to the floor, and it's Thompson inside. Slam back down by Marcus.
Marcus Johnson.
Marcus Johnson displaying his jumping ability.
72 points for the Western Conference with 2:20 to go here in the first half.
Again, you'll see they're playing like they're very hungry. The ball goes off the glass. Johnson inside, no box. A good play.
And Gervin single-handedly keeping the Eastern Conference in this now. 11 points.
2 minutes.
Kareem rolls in that sky hook. 74 points.
They got 74 points. They all want some of it. He's begging for the ball down and deep. That's his favorite spot right there. No problem.
Irving on the miss. Abdul-Jabbar has it taken away as he put it behind his back. The doctor was still there and he picked him clean. Off with a shot, Lanier.
That's what the East has to do. They have to get more than one shot at the basket. That time Lanier was able to put in the layup.
Whistle as Thompson began the drive. And the Western Conference All-Stars have called a timeout. So the East will go to Dick Motta. The West, meanwhile, will go over and huddle around Lenny Wilkins. 1:28 to go, and they've scored 7.
Paul Westfall of the Western All-Stars. They're up by 16 points, and Paul, you're playing great. Great lead.
Well, we're moving the ball well, and we're keeping the court spread, and we're getting a lot of easy shots. They were missing their shots, and we're able to get the rebound and beat them down the court.
You're not going to letting up in that second half, are you? They got a lot of stars.
Well, last year we let up, and we paid for it, so we're going to try to beat them by as many as we can.
All right, Paul. Paul Westfall, back to you, Brent.
Thank you, Hot Rod. With 1:28 to go, Paul Westfall and the Western Conference All-Stars have scored 74 points. The record for one half was set by the West back in 1962-86. Now give them 75. They've got an outside shot at it. So far in this period, the West has hit 17 of 30, 57%. The East has shot better than they did in the opening period, 12 of 21, also 57%. And it's this man, George Gervin, who has shot the best for Dick Motta in this period. Partially deflected out of bounds. It was off Kareem's hand. It'll go to the East. Elvin Hayes will take the ball out of bounds. So with so much firepower, if they relaxed, as Westfall indicated they did last year in Atlanta, the East could jump right back in this. Here's Tom Janovich. Looks like a hospital ward out there with knee braces, nose guards, and Lanier rolled up a miss, taken down by Abdul-Jabbar. David Thompson off to his left, and here's Dennis Johnson from the left corner now. They're 77 inside of a minute. They're not going to make it.
Well, they're not spectacular, but they're awfully businesslike.
So next we'll have a report from 24 Hours of Daytona. Ken Squire down there covering for CBS. Gervin runs it down. Tom Janovich is off. West comes down on the tack. Here's Marcus Johnson giving it back to David Thompson. Dennis Johnson. Here's Abdul-Jabbar. 5 on 5. Marcus gives it back. So the two UCLA stars working together, and Kareem with a chance for a three-point play. And hey, there's a grand old man of the NBA, Eddie Gottlieb. I'll bet he has seen every All-Star game.
He's seen every one of those, and he might have seen the start of that pick and roll. Whoever invented it, he might have been right next to them.
I think he invented this game, didn't he?
I'll tell you, he puts together the schedule every year, and they've tried to do it with a computer, but Eddie Gottlieb is the man who comes up with the right answers every year.
So here is Abdul-Jabbar at the free throw line. He's got the Los Angeles Lakers poised for a run at the championship. The last 19 seconds here in the first half, but at halftime, besides Daytona, we've got Pepsi Hot Shot competition. We'll check in on the Crosby Clam Bake Golf Tournament and the Trident Award to the player who received the most votes, George Gervin. Put back up by Tom Janovich, still not there. Sigma off of the outlet, and the first half has come to an end. The shootout from the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan. 80 points for the West. They lead the East right now, 80-58. We'll go to Daytona. Hot shot. Here's the pistol now. Remember, 3 turnovers. He'll give it up now to George Gervin. Jump pass inside. Julius, 3 offhand. 2 men in blue, and Kareem controls from McGinnis. And here's now Marcus Johnson on the left. He's smooth, gliding to the glass. There was a whistle as he came in on Gervin. Foul against George. So if you're wondering when was the last time we had 150 points scored by a winning team, well, Steve Jones got out the record book and found it was back in 1962. And Wilt Chamberlain threw in 52 for the losers. It was the West 150, the East 130. And congratulations to the big guy out in L.A. who I'm sure is watching. He watches everything on the tube in that multi-million-dollar home of his. He has been named to basketball's Hall of Fame.
There was no question about that. A great player who's done a great deal for basketball.
Just a matter of time.
Good, John. He's out there playing volleyball and everything. All right, here's the pistol now to the left. Takes it back from Irving. Westfall checking over his left shoulder for that screen. It's there, but the pass is inside underneath. And the tap-in goes down. So quickly, the East hits a couple of field goals, and Kareem is loose.
Good heads-up play by Westfall. He saw Kareem sprinting down the floor, beating Lanier. Good fundamental play.
And Kareem's not out his goggles on, though. He's taking them off.
I believe that is the first time I have seen Kareem without his goggles since Westfall almost stole it. Maravich got it back. And I wonder, Steve, if maybe they're not broken and he doesn't have another pair. Here is Lanier, blocked by Abdul-Jabbar. Gervin throws it up. Julius Irving.
At halftime, Dick Motter told him, like an old coach told me, let's cloud up and rain all over him. And that's what the East is doing.
That's some old coach you have. I don't understand that coach. This pass goes inside. There's a foul. Boy, it's a strange seeing Kareem stay without those goggles as you watch him in underneath. And the Big E, shades of that duel down in the Astrodome. That was the first time that Kareem was ever injured as you watch Irving go back over the head with his stuff. Elvin Hayes accidentally got a finger in Kareem's eye. That was back in college days. And of course, later he went to the goggles just to protect himself. Marcus Johnson. Here's Gervin. East now can put a streak together. The Doctor. Taken back down by McGinnis now to the West. It's 3-on-1. Here's Westfall going back to Marcus Johnson. Blocked by Lanier on defense. And they go down in a heap. We're going to have a jump ball. The applause for hustling Lanier.
Well, you see, the control is so important in basketball. The East had an opportunity to get a break. Julius Irving a little bit out of control, forced up a shot, didn't get it. They came back down. Marcus Johnson having a real tough time getting the ball down. He gets it up, but he gets tied up by Bob Lanier.
John, where did Hot Rod Hundley go? Is he over there in that chicken costume here this half?
That rod's liable to show up in anything.
Never know where the rod's going to be. Started out in the upper balcony here today. Westfall going back to Kareem, who was alone. Ricochets off Maravich, misses it. Hayes control now for the East. 82-64.
The goggles have shown up, Brent, so he's not going to go the game without them.
There they are. Irving, perhaps he just forgot to put them on when he came out to start the half.
As physical as it is sometimes, he may have lost it in a scramble underneath the boards.
Indeed, there he goes. Kareem, so the goggles are tucked back in place, and the Western Conference All-Stars are ready to roll again. It's 82-66, 9:28 to go in the third in the NBA All-Star game.
A lot of cars are like pizzas. To get a lot on them, you gotta pay a lot extra. But not the 1979 Chevy Chevette. It comes with a lot already on it. Chevette ignores the pizza principle. With it, you get an AM radio, reclining bucket seats, console, white striped tires, and more, all at no extra cost. So avoid the pizza principle.
Hi, Richie.
Get a car with a lot already on it. Get the best-selling hatchback in America, Chevy Chevette. It's a lot of car for the money.
Hi, Richie.
Hi, kid.
Zenith presents a breakthrough. System 3. System 3. The best Zenith ever. The best ever. An advanced picture tube for the sharpest Zenith picture ever. Sharpest picture. A totally modular chassis. All modular. Designed to be the best performing, the most reliable color TV in Zenith history. The most reliable. Zenith System 3. Zenith System 3. It's the best Zenith. ever.
Basketball is the all-American. Pete Maravich has made 5 in a row, 82-66. And the West down on the attack. Thompson takes Gervin and rotates over to the weak side. Kareem, turnaround on Lanier. Taken down by Elvin Hayes. They can run to 10-2. Here's Maravich. Wanted the doctor on the turnover. It'll be the West right back. Thompson trying to find daylight was fouled as he came inside.
George Gervin is home, but he may get a sit on that bench there for a while. That's 3 straight fouls on him. They have really taken advantage of him defensively right there. Thompson just blows by him. He almost gets a 3-point play. He's on the line.
So David Thompson in his 4th pro season, 3rd in the NBA, and he has been a member of the Western Conference All-Stars in each of those 3 years. Starter, as a matter of fact, each time out. 83-66 now. West in command. Maravich with a run of 5 straight. Cross-court wanted back to the doctor. Doctor goes down. He was struck in the back. Loose ball foul. He's all right.
Loose ball foul on number 30, George McGinnis.
They were successful on that play a little earlier, and you'll see it coming up. Julius Erving is going behind a double pick. Maravich throws the ball high, but he gets fouled from behind.
Maravich, 5 of 6 as he comes up with a miss, and Irving's got it back for the East. Free ball tap by Lanier. On the fly. It's Thompson to Westfall's 4-on-1. Back now to Marcus Johnson.
This is where the West has been so effective. They had a 4-on-1 break that time, and if you give up that many cheap baskets, you're going to be in trouble.
Certainly the one thing that the West has done, and the East is trying to do that now, is just put more balls in the air. You got a chance if you put it up. You got no chance if you're kicking it around in the stands, letting the chicken play with it.
Chicken will turn it into a football like he did a few minutes ago. And here's Marcus Johnson of the Milwaukee Bucks. '85 for the Western Conference. Maravich, Gervin, Hayes, Lanier, and Irving on the floor for Dick Motta in the East. Pistol wanted to pass, and Lanier ran down the loose ball. Bob Lanier did not expect to be driving baseline in that sequence. He made the most of it. Johnson regains. Batted away from Kareem and out of bounds. Western Conference controls. Bannock, Evans, Madden, the 3 officials.
The East has just done a better job so far playing defense. They've made the West put the ball up more from the outside, limiting their chances to get those cheap, easy breaks.
4-on-1 at the other end, and the field goal layup is missed. Long pass to Westfall. Oh, he is outstanding with either hand. I think he goes to that offhand better than anybody in the NBA.
He and Bobby Jones are probably the 2 best in close with either hand.
There's Kareem dueling Lanier. Gervin, high arch. Yanked down McGinnis. Westfall. Bounce to the corner. McGinnis on the assault, gives it up. Marcus Johnson. Pretty play that night. Looks like they've worked it together. 89-68. McGinnis now with 4 steals, and Hayes has pounded away for 11 rebounds in this game. Irving against Marcus Johnson. Got it over to Elvin. Run down by McGinnis on the fly. Here comes the West. He went to the offhand. 2 Eastern Conference players go tied up. Hayes gets the ball, and McGinnis comes right down on him. And it's going to be a turnover.
Oh, you see McGinnis right there. He came on the break, got the ball. There's 2 Eastern players right there with the ball. They call Elvin Hayes and Pete Maravich for walking. And George McGinnis did a little dive on top to make sure.
That was a free shot. Moses Malone. Kareem looking for a teammate rather than the shot, and finally gets the Marcus. David Thompson goes in there with the Giants, and with that great leaping ability, finds daylight above them. The doctor on the dribble. Bobby Dandridge. Hayes was hacked by McGinnis, coming inside the lane that time on his drive. So we'll have a timeout right now. The foul going against George McGinnis. We've got 6 minutes and 37 seconds to go. Third period, NBA All-Star game, Pontiac, Michigan. It's 91-68. The Phyllis George is here with her husband-to-be, John Y. Brown, the owner of the Boston Celtics. They've announced their engagement. Congratulations to both of them. They are to be married in March in New York City. Elvin Hayes, turnaround hit it.
Basket is good by Hayes from Irving. Foul on number 30.
Irving and Thompson, 17 points each. Westfall, 15 points and 5 assists. Our individual leaders so far in this All-Star game.
John Havlicek, what if you're the East of the coach team? What do you tell these guys? How do they get back in the basketball game?
Well, one of the things they have to do is try and get low for some good percentage shots. They've been in a situation where they forced a lot of shots, trying to make the spectacular play.
What about that defense?
The defense is definitely something they have to improve on.
Walter Davis has checked in. On the turnover, Hayes with control. Irving batted it free. And it's the doctor. And the doctor is trying hard to yank his conference back into it. Gervin with the field goal.
Again, they've gone with another tall lineup. They've got Irving and Gervin back into backcourt. Dandridge and Malone and Elvin Hayes up front. If they can get an opportunity to run, they have an excellent chance of getting back into game. 5:40 left.
Waited, and the doctor just kind of dropped the hand momentarily, and Paul went to the shot.
Paul's played so much horse, he has all kinds of shots out here.
Hayes at familiar spot. Moses Malone of Houston fouled as he came back up with the shot. And Dennis Johnson checking back into the game.
Number 33.
Are you talking about familiar spots? Moses Malone down and deep. He's the best offensive rebounder in the league, possibly in the history of the NBA. He gets in deep. He's got to be boxed that time. No box. He's on the free throw line. As we look at Paul Westphal trying to get comfortable, as he's had a tremendous game so far.
Steve, you pointed out his tremendous offensive rebounding. Moses has led the NBA in each of the last 2 years in that category. Set a league record with 437 a couple of years ago.
He has 352 right now, 30-some games left.
McGinnis slides baseline, whistle blowing with the shot going up. Rudy Tomjanovich. If you're wondering about the face mask and the injury that Rudy suffered last year, it is not a direct result of it. That nose was broken again this year when hit accidentally. But it is such a pleasure to see this man back in basketball. He, of course, missed almost all of last season after an unfortunate incident in Los Angeles. And the Houston Rockets are playing well. Our old buddy Rick Barry now on that team. I'll tell you, it's kind of strange not only to not see John Havlicek out there, not to see Rick Barry, no one from the Celtics, the Knicks, or the Warriors. That's the first time in history that those three teams haven't been represented in an All-Star game. So somewhat of a changing of the guard in the NBA. Here's Bobby Dandridge. He's been on 4 of these teams now. Washington, he puts one up as he came open in the middle. Nice play. Elvin Hayes now playing with those 5 personals, and that's why Dick Motta wanted to give him a break. Davis gave it off, and it was McGinnis.
Real good play by Walter Davis that time. Going to the hoop, found out he was picked up by 2 men, hit the open man for the stuff.
96 points up there by the Western Conference already. Away from Rudy, runs it down.
Control is very important in this game, and the East has been out of control. Tomjanovich in his range. They need more plays like that.
Well, Rudy T, the former Wolverine, grew up 20 miles from here. Put it in. And the big man, yanked off by Moses. Here's Julius. Irving spins free, and it's Dandridge again. And David Thompson on the foul.
If they play more defense like that, they're going to come up with a lot more steals and be able to get into a situation where they can close the lead. Here we have Julius. It's a 4-on-1. Going to the hoop. Didn't get the lay-in, but on the line for 2 shots.
Campy Russell returns to the
Campy Russell returns, and Gervin leaves. Campy, of course, from the Cleveland Cavaliers, possesses as fine a fadeaway jump shot as you ever want to see, like Rudy T. from Wolverine.
All the East wants to do is get within 10 at the top of the fourth period. They got a shot at this basketball game. They're 16 down now, 4 minutes left. Dandridge, they need all of his.
It's 81. So whittling away here in the third period. And Steve, you pointed out, I think the key element strategically, they went to the big guards.
They've gone in with the big guys. They've got Russell now playing guard. They're a little bit out of position, and the West could take advantage of them because they run their set pattern so well.
Guinness, and Green didn't expect it, but now he's got it. Boy, he thought it was a hot potato. Did you see him?
It's a good thing he had those goggles on.
Rudy T is off with the rebound. Now here's the doctor who has taken charge of this Eastern Conference team. Tom Janovich rolls in the hook shot. So it's 96-84, and the Eastern Conference has come to life. Maurice Lucas will check back in for Lenny Wilkins. David Thompson, and the East falling back there on defense, trying to stop the penetration. Thompson with 4 seconds is off. Good rebound by Dandridge. Lead now to the doctor. Here's the doctor. They are right there. 96-86, and there's the 10 points Steve Jones was telling you about. 2:59 to go in the third. McGinnis is open back to 12. Sloppy on defense. Didn't seal up the middle. Dick Motta now will bring him over. Big smile on Bernie Bickerstaff's face over there. Those two. Here's Dandridge now, giving it up to Irving. Motta's East is at 55% in the third. They are now 12 of 22. And Julius comes up to the free throw line. You know, one thing we've got to get Hot Rod Hundley to find one athlete in this All-Star game who will say, "Hi, Dad." I mean, it is running so much in favor of mothers on behalf. Why is that about athletes? It's always "Hi, Mom," Steve.
Well, I don't know. Maybe if we had a lot more women involved, they would say "Hi, Dad." Maybe it's just they like to go to the other gender. We see Julius Irving, game high score, 22 points. He's picked a lot of them up, playing at that guard position. He may ask for a new slot at Philadelphia.
I also think he's brought some leadership to the floor here in this period.
He definitely has. He has that quality, and I'm sure that the other players look up to him, and he's playing as hard now as he's ever played because this is his type of game.
Maurice Lucas, yanked off by Malone. It's 98-88, and the East can come back now to within 8. Rudy Tomjanovich has hit 2 quick ones during the comeback. Make it 3, a pretty shot. Nicely timed by Rudy T. Now it's Walter Davis of Phoenix, and we've got ourselves one brewing here in Pontiac.
Momentum and defense is key for the East. They have gotten down and deep and made the West take tougher shots.
They leave Lucas alone. They gave him that shot, and Maurice obliged. Now, East can make it 6. Here's Bobby D to the glass. It is a 6-point game. Irving with 5 field goals and 2 free throws this quarter. And 23-point total is the hot hand overall in this game, 139. Dennis Johnson to Artis Gilmore of Chicago. Walter Davis, 100-92. And Motta is in the game. He's yelling at Vanek. It's the first time I've seen an NBA All-Star coach up yelling at a referee in years.
You can always get in the game when you get close to him. We didn't see him in the first half.
I wonder if he brought the fat lady with him.
That's his third penalty situation.
Motta's going to his favorite player, the only one he can look right in the eyes. Here comes Calvin
Dr. J on the line, 3, make 2.
The East at this point doesn't have a true guard in the game. They're going to get Calvin in here for a little speed. They've been breaking well. Maybe he can help them in that department.
One thing for sure, Julius Irving has been able to use his mobility out in front, get to the hoop, get to the free throw line. They're giving David Thompson a race. He has played real hard, done a lot of jumping, a lot of running early. He may be a little tired. Irving is beginning to take advantage of his size.
Okay, Steve, on the floor right now for Motta. Of course, Irving's at the free throw line. We've got Moses Malone and Rudy Tomjanovich. And we've got Bobby Dandridge out there, and we also have Campy Russell. Now for the West, we've got Walter Davis, we've got Dennis Johnson, Maurice Lucas, Artis Gilmore, and Otis Birdsong.
Well, John, noticed that they took a lot of the showmen out of the basketball game, and that's why the East have gotten back in it.
Anytime you get back to the basics, you're a lot better off.
Why not? It's a working man's town, and Mata went to the guys who prefer the lunch pails to the Rolls Royces. Lucas is left alone that time. You can leave him alone outside, but never there. Here's Dandridge. Julius Irving, who has sparked this comeback. Here's Rudy T. going for 4. Rudy T is on the way right now. It's 102-96. We're inside of a minute, third period.
Well, you can make a strong case for Julius Irving. He's bringing them right back for that MVP. He's doing it all and got the people very excited.
Every time the East gets a rebound, Julius is calling for it. He wants it.
As the ball went into Artis Gilmore, there was a foul underneath. And I believe the doctor, yes, he is. He's over on the bench taking a rest right now. Well, he deserves it as he sparked the comeback. I really felt that time that Moses Malone may have gambled too much, jumping far out, leaving Gilmore open. So someone had to jump in, and they fouled Artis. And here's the leader of the Chicago Bulls, the man who's carried that team this year. That is for sure. In this period, that run of 4 by Rudy T. The doctor had 14 points, and Bobby Dandridge has added 6 for the East.
It's amazing that Artis Gilmore has never missed a basketball game in the college or pro career.
Isn't that unbelievable, John? All right, here's Otis Birdsong of Kansas City. To the middle. Bad pass. Way in front of Maurice Lucas. Now, 16 seconds, third period. It's 104-96. East now can bring it on up for the last shot. Campy Russell. Score it.
6 seconds. Make it. Get in front of him. Catch it in front of you. Put some pressure on.
Artis Gilmore on that last shot probably shouldn't have attempted to block it because I don't think it would have gone in anyhow.
Lucas throws it up. And the end of the third period. One in which the Eastern Conference decided to come back and give us a basketball game. 12 minutes to go. 104-98, the West. By 6 hit 59%, outscoring the West 40-24 in the third period. Here's Campy Russell trying to make it a 4-point game. Can't. Loose ball. Dandridge will give the East a second chance. Campy Russell off again. Out by Lucas now to Dennis Johnson. Gives it to Walter Davis flying down the wing. Davis goes back to DJ. Sealed up by Russell, and here's Gilmore. Comes inside Otis Birdsong, and there was a foul.
23.
A good off-the-ball cut that time by Birdsong. Going to the hoop. Artis Gilmore with his head up was able to pick him up. Potential 2-point play here.
They have run their set stuff much better. That's where they have their success. I'm certain that Lenny Wilkins during that timeout told them, fellas, if we don't have a good opportunity, let's set up and exploit them defensively.
Steve, earlier the commissioner mentioned that the league is going to expand into 2 cities, and the 2 leading towns at this point are Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Dallas. Now others, whether in a New Orleans hospital, and we hope she is watching her son's team in action. Denver in the home white. They have got the first possession. Wilkerson goes to the horse. Dan Issel 44. Thompson's 33. Jones goes back to Issel for the first shot.
Pretty good ball movement that time by the Nuggets, and that's what they did so effectively in Friday's game.
Keep a close eye on the Seattle guards. They will have to get better. Johnson hits Dennis Johnson, cutting past him, but he could not hold on to the ball. And again, as Rick Barry has told you, Dennis Johnson playing with that injured finger on his right hand, but it is much better today. And the Sonics hope to pressure the ball more on defense. That's where Wilkins felt they let down. They worked hard during practice. Anthony Roberts, the rookie from Oral Roberts.
Anthony Roberts, as a rookie this year, has done extremely well in the playoffs, and he's shown a great deal of poise.
DJ is 24. Sigma with Jones on him. Too close to Webster for a pass, so Sikma's got to put it up and in.
Jack Sikma off to a quick start already, Brent. He didn't get his first basket in the game Friday night until a long time into the game as we see Freddie Brown, Paul Silas, Lenny Wilkins looking on.
Freddie Brown slowed Friday night because of a bad head cold and did not scrimmage yesterday, attended their practice. Here's the Skywalker, David Thompson. Dennis Johnson assigned to him. Ball movement to Issel, back to Jones.
Great play by Jones and Issel. The ball moved very well, and when they got the mismatch and actually a defensive breakdown, it was 2 points.
Webster and Issel checking in, former teammates. Gus Williams, formerly at Golden State.
Basket by Gus Williams.
Nuggets bring it back on the left side, and Issel to the glass, and a blocking foul is called on Marvin Webster.
Hey, we'll take a look at the play right here. Issel coming in. You see Webster on the move, had not established position when Dan had committed himself. Dan using a little bit of the quickness that he does have against Webster, who is not quite as mobile.
Issel played 28 minutes Friday night, was 9 of 14, added 7 free throws for 25 points. The only thing he did wrong Friday night was give me the wrong horse in the Kentucky Derby. Alydar ran second. Otherwise, he had a superb Friday evening. Now the men in green from Seattle bring it up. The scene will shift to Seattle Wednesday night for the third game of this series. Williams being pressured by David Thompson, 33. Out high is John Johnson. Gus back up again. And Wilkerson, strong rebounding guard who played a lot of forward for Bobby Knight at Indiana. Over to the horse, Issel, a fine outside shooter, not that time, and Williams rebounds. The guards for Lenny Wilkins were only 11 of 39 on Friday night. Wilkerson there trying to check Williams as he comes to the hole.
Foul on number 32, Bobby Wilkerson.
Lenny Wilkins and Les Habecker.
Here you see Gus Williams, the type of game he loves to get involved with. Wide open up the floor. There you see him picking up the foul. Go to the free throw line. Gus looks a little bit looser out here this afternoon, Brent. He seemed to be shooting poorly in the game Friday night. In fact, both teams seem to be playing with a lot more confidence. They seemed a little tight in the game Friday night.
Seattle scored 47 points at the free throw line Friday night. Denver came away with 15 more field goals, and Larry Brown said, who would have thought we'd be struggling at home to win a game when we put down 15 more field goals. It's 8-6, Denver by 2, and 9:52 to go. First quarter from McNichols. Issel out high. Webster got a bit of a hand on it and went off of Sikman out of bounds, so the Nuggets retain possession.
Here we have a pass into Sikma. He can't get the handle on the ball, and actually that time I thought the Sonics played pretty good defense because they were pressuring the ball, moving the ball so that they were not able to get the ball inside the foul line extended.
Issel wants it. A 4-point Nugget lead. And Webster says, give it to me, and he's got it now, and he traveled.
We'll take a look at the play right here as Webster gets the ball. You saw him right there shuffle his feet. I think he's a little bit upset that Issel is playing so well early in the game. He wanted that ball badly, Brent.
David Thompson outside. All green at the glass. Here's Williams with control. Wilkerson there, and Gus glides inside with a pretty move. He gave him that step.
Gus didn't do that in the entire game Friday night. He's looking much sharper.
Didn't get any help from the defense.
Thompson finds the baseline open and turns the corner. That great first step. Nuggets back up by 4. Dennis Johnson. So he comes in, and we're seeing more penetration by the Sonic guards, and the key to that is they're playing a little bit better at the defensive end. When they get the rebounds, the Sonics are so much better as a unit. Bobby Jones, Webster, and it's goaltending.
That time Marvin made a bad choice. That ball had no chance of going in, but of course when you're a big man under there, you just react to the situation. We'll watch it here. There goes Bobby to the left hand. Marvin times it, but he's too close to the hoop. If he were out a step further, he would have had that ball, and it would have been a legal block.
Nuggets trying to keep the ball out away from Marvin Webster if they can. They're on this left side. John Johnson, and Anthony Roberts takes him. John to the turnaround, chance for the three-pointer. Roberts called for the foul.
John Johnson's been bothered by a strep throat, but that didn't bother him at all. Here he goes, one-on-one, turnaround. Good shot.
I'm sure that Johnny Johnson's trying to make up for the fact that
Roberts played such a good ball game Friday night. And as we pointed out in that game, that is going to be one of the also key matchups in this series.
Sigma had it bounce to him. Webster with control, and he traveled again. The second time that Marvin has turned it over. 8:16 to go first quarter. Nuggets are up by a field goal.
Brent Marvin's trying a little bit too hard. He's over anxious. Issel got off to that good start. He wants to do so well that he's trying too hard, and he's walked twice with the ball.
Sonics await the Nugget guards as they come across the midcourt line. Thompson wants to put it in. Dennis Johnson outside fouled him as he started that move to the basket.
Well, watch the play here. Here's David, that tremendous quickness he has. Right there is the foul, the push off, and he did put the ball on the floor after the foul was called, so it is not continuation. Good call.
2 team fouls apiece. Sigma reaches in on Jones and picks up a bad foul that time.
We'll take a look at this one again. We'll see right now, Bobby Jones able to establish position. Sigma reaching from behind, as you pointed out, Brent, not a good play.
Williams all over Wilkerson. So Anthony Roberts comes up. Soft touch off. Johnson rebounds. Here's DJ. Marvin Webster. Short, and the Nuggets control the board. 1 shot for the Sonics, and here's the big man off to Wilkerson. Over to the side to Jones. Nice play by Bobby Wilkerson.
That time they had real good ball movement on the penetration, the defense.
Here we'll take a look at the play again. Dan Issel making a fine pass to Wilkerson. Good penetration, draws Sigma to him. You see Bobby sneak in, he hits him with the good pass. Denver moving the ball beautifully.
See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
Chevrolet Caprice and Impala wagons have more of the things wagon people want. A convenient door gate, quick and easy seat conversion, 2 lockable storage compartments, and a generous 4-foot wide cargo area. And for a full-size wagon, mileage is surprisingly good. See the new Chevrolet, America's best-selling full-size wagon, at your Chevrolet wagon stop.
Yeah, Buck. I just went to another bar and asked for light beer for Miller. Yeah. They said, sorry, Buck, we don't have it. They didn't have it? No. I don't want some beer that's going to fill me up. No. I want light. Tastes great. Right. Has a third less calories than a regular beer. Yeah. And man, it's less filling. You think I'm going to the other bar again? No way. From now on, the buck stops here.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer and less.
DuPont presents the car wax with a watertight guarantee. Rain Dance. It's guaranteed to shine longer, to bead water longer, guaranteed to last longer than the leading car waxes. Or DuPont gives you your money back. Repeat. Rain Dance is guaranteed to shine longer, to bead water longer, to last longer. The Rain Dance guarantee is watertight.
Howard Davis is stepping up in class next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular at 5 p.m. The unbeaten young lightweight goes up against Larry Stanton, live from Orlando, Florida. And I think you're going to see Davis face some stiffer competition than he has in his first 6 fights as a professional. He has knocked out 3 opponents, but he really hasn't faced too much yet. 5 p.m. next Saturday, Davis Stanton, CBS Sports Spectacular. Here in Denver, 7:37 to go first quarter. Nuggets lead the Sonics 16-12. Washington beat Philadelphia 121 to 105. That scene now shifts back to the Spectrum in Philadelphia with the Bullets leading 3 games to 1. And Lenny Wilkins and the Sonics down in the Western Conference final by a game. Webster out high. Looks into pass, and Issel tightens up on him. Johnson coming around. Issel switches. Webster. And there was a loose ball foul. Now let's see, Vanek and Rush have got to get it straight as to who the fouler was. And it's on Bobby Jones.
It's going to be on Johnson. We see the foul. The shot right there comes off the board. There you go, Marvin going up. And the foul, the reach in by Bobby Jones, number 24 from behind.
3 team fouls apiece. John Johnson makes it a 2-point Nugget lead.
Very good shot that time by Seattle. They were patient with the offense, and when you get those 15-footers for Johnson, he's going to score.
Just eluded Jones with a lob pass. Sonics back, chance to tie it. Webster comes around. John Johnson, that rolling left-handed hook. He had a couple of them Friday night. That's a good shot.
Shot that one from a lot further out, Brett. That was almost 15 feet.
Sonics again picking up the ball man, Wilkerson, as he comes across the midcourt line. Here's Wilkerson from the corner. He had a big shot there late Friday night.
Yes, he did. It looks like he's got his confidence because he had shot very poorly prior to the end of the game Friday night.
Jones jumps in on Williams, who cannot turn the corner completely. Misses outside, and Thompson skies. Nuggets with a chance to go up by 4. Pretty pass to Jones. David Thompson from the left side of his eye. Lenny was talking to Paul Silas and Freddie Brown. He'll be going to that bench soon.
Yes, sir, and Freddie might be coming in because that was not a good shot by Gus, and they'd have to get more offense in there, moving the ball, get better shots.
Stolen by Anthony Roberts. He picked John Johnson clean. And the rookie hits 2 more. It's a 6-point Nugget lead.
Good anticipation by Roberts. He's really playing extremely well in this series, and I know that he feels it, and he's going to come on with even some more.
Nuggets trying to keep the Sonics over here on the left side. Sikma tries to come around, and Jones is there, and is pushing in behind. And Jones hooked his man as he came through.
Well, watch the play again. Here you see him coming. Bobby trying to fight his way through, runs into Marvin Webster, but you can see the aggressiveness of Bobby Jones. He really